Chapter 782. 78200 Supremes Pagoda. This time, there were 3 5th-level spiritual ocean tier and 1 3rd-level spiritual ocean tier martial artists' blood essence. It was even more majestic, and the power of the blood essence was even purer. At the same time, all of them surged towards the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. This time the refinement took a day. In a palace of the Shangguan family, a terrifying aura and killing intent came out. What did you say? Jianghu was killed. By that kid called Lu Ming? A deep roar sounded, containing endless anger. The owner of the voice was Shangguan Zhongyuan, the father of Shangguan Wuqian and Shangguan Wuling, an elder with real power in the Shangguan family. Shangguan Wuqian, Shangguan Wuling, and a skinny man stood beside Shangguan Zhongyuan. Their faces were pale and they were sweating profusely. They knew that Shangguan Zhongyuan was furious. He was extremely furious. Shangguan Jingjue was killed. Among the Shangguan family's younger generation, Shangguan Jingjue was the second most powerful heaven's favorite. There was only one person who was stronger than him. The Shangguan family had high hopes for such a genius. In the future he would definitely become the Shangguan family's pillar of support. It was a pity that he had died just like that. How could Shangguan Zhongyuan not be angry? Lu Ming, he must die. After a moment of silence, Shangguan Zhongyuan uttered a cold sentence. But father, there are people guarding the 100 venerated mountains. People over the age of 30 can't enter at all. How can we kill that little bastard? Shangguan Wuqian said. Among the younger generation of the Shangguan family, there was no one else who could compete with Lu Ming except for one person. However, that person was cultivating in another holy land of a higher level and could not disturb him. Only the older generation could kill Lu Ming. However, the elders could not enter the 100 venerated mountains. Moreover, they did not dare to brazenly send their elders to kill Lu Ming. He could only do it secretly. He can't possibly stay in the 100 venerated mountains forever. Wait for him to come out. Shangguan Zhongyuan's eyes were as cold as ice as he continued. Send someone to monitor the 100 venerated mountains. Inform me immediately after that kid comes out. Yes. The skinny man said. Lu Ming cultivated beside the long spear for an entire day before he managed to refine all the blood essence. However, the prison-suppressing steel bloodline had not advanced. But this time Lu Ming had a feeling. He felt that he was not far from the divine level. It was a wonderful feeling. He could feel that the prison-suppressing steel was not far from being promoted. Lu Ming revealed a look of anticipation. Once the prison-suppressing steel was promoted to the divine level, his combat power would definitely be greatly improved. Furthermore, it was said that there was an even more powerful use of the divine bloodline. It was not as simple as a burst of power. It would greatly increase one's combat power. The sovereigns who had awakened divine bloodlines were also known as divine-level sovereigns. According to the records, the top 300 on the list of top 1,000 talents were all god-level talents. In other words, the top 300 on the list of top 1,000 talents had all awakened the 3rd bloodline, which was a divine bloodline. Without awakening a divine bloodline, there was no way he could compete with those geniuses. Lu Ming pondered for a while. He took a deep breath and stood up. He planned to leave this place and change to another place to cultivate. Brother, may I know your name? At this moment, a young man walked to Lu Ming's side, cupped his fists and smiled. Lu Ming frowned slightly. This brother, I can see that your combat strength is strong and you are indeed a dragon among men. I am interested in befriending you. I am Chu Zhongshuan. The young man continued. His eyes were very pure and he didn't seem to have any other thoughts. Chu Zhongshuan, 586th on the list of top 1,000 talents? Lu Ming raised his eyebrows. Haha, it's just a small name, it can't be compared to you, brother. Chu Zhongshuan laughed. I'm Lu Ming. Since Chu Zhongshuan was so forthright, Lu Ming was not a pretentious person. He smiled. Could it be the strongest esper on the Heavenly King list, Lu Ming? Chu Zhongshuan's eyes moved as he said. If there isn't a second Lu Ming who also topped the Heavenly King ranking, it should be me. Lu Ming touched his nose and said. No wonder Brother Lu is so strong. With your combat power, you should be able to pass the Tower of 100 Talents. You might even get a token to other higher cultivation holy lands. Chu Zhongshuan sighed. Tower of 100 Supremes? A token that leads to a higher cultivation holy land? Lu Ming had some doubts. It seems like Brother Lu doesn't know yet. Chu Zhongshuan was a little surprised. He explained to Lu Ming briefly. There were many cultivation sanctuaries in 9 Dragons, and the 100 Venerates Mountain was just one of them. It was just an ordinary one. There were also some cultivation holy lands that were even more wondrous than the 100 venerated mountains, and the effects were even better. However, some of those holy lands required a large amount of resources, so the number of people who could enter was extremely limited. Some holy lands were only open to the top of the list of top 1,000 talents. After all, resources were limited. They could only be given to stronger geniuses so that they could achieve better results in the Battle of Providence. It was said that the top 100 on the list of top 1,000 talents had been sent to a secret place by Martial Emperor De to cultivate in seclusion, waiting for the Battle of Providence. If one wanted to enter a higher cultivation holy land, other than those famous and top-ranked heaven's favorites, there was another way, and that was to obtain the qualifications. In some ordinary cultivation holy lands, there would be some testing grounds. For example, the 100 Supremes Pagoda in the 100 Supremes Mountain. As long as they passed it, there was a certain possibility of obtaining a token to a higher cultivation holy land. Some of the geniuses who cultivated in the 100 Supremes Mountain would often go to the 100 Supremes Pagoda. There's actually such a place. Lu Ming's heart palpitated. The effects of the 100 venerated mountains were still quite good if one's cultivation level was lower. However, as one's cultivation level increased, the effects would become weaker and weaker. It would naturally be better if one could go to those more mysterious places to cultivate. Brother Lu, do you want to go? Why don't we go together? I was planning to go and try it out. Chu Zhongshuan said. All right, let's go together, Lu Ming said. Then the two of them left the place. Chu Zhongshuan had been there before and was familiar with the way. He brought Lu Ming in the direction of the 100 venerated mountains. A few hours later, a tall tower appeared in front of them. It was a stone tower that occupied a large area and was so tall that it reached the clouds. The two of them flew over and landed below the stone tower. There were a few other young men below the stone tower and they all looked up. Lu Ming also raised his head and looked up. The stone tower had a total of 10 levels. At this moment, the first 6 floors were all shining with light while the last 4 floors were pitch black. On the way, Chu Zhongshuan explained the situation of the Tower of 100 Supremes to Lu Ming. The Tower of 100 Talents did not test one's cultivation, but the intent realm of heaven and earth. There were 10 levels in the Tower of 100 Supremes. As long as one could make it to the 9th level, they would be able to obtain a token that would lead them to a higher cultivation holy land. Every time he passed a level, the Tower of 100 Talents would light up. At this moment, the first 6 floors were lit up, indicating that someone had made it to the 6th floor. At this moment, the light on the 7th floor also suddenly lit up. Wan Xiongfei has already reached the 7th floor. Could he possibly reach the 8th floor? It's hard to say. However, the 100 battle intent realm of the Wan family is indeed terrifying. Under the Tower of 100 Supremes, the others were discussing in low voices. Chapter 783. 783 Breakthrough of Intent Realm. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. The Wan family, one of the 6 ancient aristocratic families, was named Wan Xiongfei. He was ranked 432nd on the list of top 1,000 talents, and was even more powerful than Shangguan Jinjue. Obviously, Wan Xiongfei had already reached the 7th floor. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, a violent sonic boom came from the sky. A scorching aura spread towards Lu Ming and the rest. Everyone looked back and saw a burly figure in the sky flying toward them at an extreme speed. His body was covered in purple flames like a purple sundae. It's the Wang family's sky-burning flames. Someone exclaimed. Boom. In the blink of an eye, the person approached the 100 Supremes Pagoda, but he had no intention of slowing down. His entire body was like a meteorite, smashing towards them. Not good dodge. The others were shocked and retreated. Lu Ming frowned and stood still. Haha, get lost. The Wang family member laughed and smashed down. Brother Lu, get out of the way. Chu Zhongshuan pulled Lu Ming to the side. Boom. The Wang family members stomped heavily on the spot where Lu Ming had been standing. The earth rumbled, gravel flew, and cracks appeared on the ground. Wang Kong. It's Wang Kong. Someone exclaimed. Wang Kong, 430th on the list of top 1,000 talents, was 1 rank higher than Wan Xiongfei. Wang Kong landed on the ground and cast an unfriendly glance at Lu Ming. Just now, Lu Ming did not want to dodge, and that made him a little unhappy. The Wang clan. Lu Ming muttered. He thought of Jianfiliu. Jianfiliu should have arrived in 9 Dragons. He wondered if he had gone to the Wang family. If he had the chance, he must find the Wang family and ask them about it. That guy Luan Xiongfei actually made it to the 7th level. It seems like his 100 battle intent has improved a little. However, I'm afraid it won't be that easy to make it to the 8th level. Wang Kong chuckled. Sure enough, not long after, a ray of light flashed on the 7th floor. A figure appeared and was bounced out. It was a burly young man. He was wearing armor and exuded a powerful fighting will. Luan Xiongfei, it seems like you have failed. Wang Kong sneered. Wang Kong, I've failed. You might not be better than me. After saying this much, Luan Xiongfei didn't stay any longer, and soared into the sky and left this place. After Luan Xiongfei came out, all the lights in the Tower of 100 Supremes had been extinguished, which meant that there was no one inside. Wang Kong snorted and strode toward the 1st floor of the tower. There was a light door at the bottom of the 1st floor of the Tower of 100 Supremes. Wang Kong disappeared after he stepped through it. Brother Lu, let's go and have a try. Chu Zhongshuan said. Many people could enter the Tower of 100 Talents at the same time. Lu Ming nodded and stepped into the light door with Chu Zhongshuan. At the same time, a few other people also stepped into the light door. The moment Lu Ming entered the door of light, he appeared on a platform. What? As soon as he entered, Lu Ming realized that the essential core in his body could not be circulated at all. Even his mental energy fire could not be circulated. He could only erupt with the intent realm of heaven and earth. Whoosh! A flaming saber was formed and slashed at Lu Ming. This flaming saber was formed by the fire concept, which was equivalent to the early stage of the beginning of level 2. With a single thought, Lu Ming's concept of fire burst out and condensed into a long spear of flames, which he stabbed at the flaming saber. With a bang, the flaming saber was destroyed. A door of light appeared in front of the platform. This first stage is really easy. Lu Ming smiled and walked into the door of light. The next moment he appeared on another platform. At this time, if one were to look from the outside of the Tower of 100 Supremes, they could see that 3 floors had already lit up, indicating that someone had made it to the 3rd floor. This time, another flaming saber was formed on the platform. However, the fire concept contained in this flaming saber had already reached the peak of the 2nd level. It was on par with Lu Ming's current flame concept. Lu Ming only cast a kind of flame concept and condensed a long spear to fight against the flaming saber. Bus. And NBSP whoosh. The spear and the saber kept clashing, and the sound of metal clashing could be heard. It's purely a battle of intent. Not bad. This can temper my intent and make it stronger. Lu Ming pondered and focused on controlling the concept of fire to fight against the flaming saber. Lu Ming's current concept of fire was at the peak of the 2nd level beginner, which was equivalent to the flaming saber. The two of them kept clashing. At this time, 5 floors of the Tower of 100 Supremes had already lit up. This meant that someone had made it to the 5th floor. What a fast speed. That should be Wang Kong. He has already reached the 5th floor. I wonder if he can make it to the 9th floor. The 9th floor is unlikely. Even Luan Xiongfei has only made it to the 7th floor. I think Wang Kong will most likely be stuck there as well. There were still a few people watching and discussing under the tower. Lu Ming burst out with the concept of fire and fought with the flaming saber. After more than 100 rounds of fighting, Lu Ming felt that he was becoming more and more familiar with the use of the concept of fire. His long spear danced and he had the upper hand. After a few moves, he defeated the flaming saber. Although Lu Ming's fire concept had not broken through the bottleneck and reached level 2 lower tier, he felt that it was one step closer. After destroying the flaming saber, another door of light appeared in front of him. Lu Ming stepped into it and the next moment he appeared on the platform of the 3rd level. This time, a golden combat sword appeared. It was formed by the metal mentality, and it had reached the initial completion of level 2 mentality. It seemed that the will that appeared in the Tower of 100 Supremes was random, and it was not fixed on a specific will. Whoosh! The golden combat sword was incomparably sharp as it stabbed toward Lu Ming. Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming released 2 concepts. The 2 intents of wind and fire combined to form a long spear. After a few moves, it destroyed the huge golden sword. Lu Ming continued and entered the 4th level. On the 4th level, it was still a golden sword, but the strength of the metal mentality had reached the peak of level 2 lower tier. Lu Ming used the wind and fire concepts to fight. After exchanging dozens of moves, he defeated the golden sword and entered the 5th level. And at this time, there were already people who failed to pass the round and were ejected. The 7th floor also lit up at this moment. Someone had made it to the 7th level. At the bottom of the tower, the others raised their heads to see if the 8th floor would light up. However, after a while, the 7th level flashed and a figure flew out. It was Wang Kong. "Damn it, just a little bit more and I'll be able to make it to the 8th level." Wang Kong growled. As soon as Wang Kong came out, he saw that the light on the 7th floor of the tower was extinguished, but the lower 6 floors were still lit. In less than 2 minutes, there was a flash of light on the 6th floor and a figure appeared. It was Chu Zhongshuan. He had made it to the 6th floor and was ejected. The light on the 6th floor was extinguished, but the 5 floors below were still lit. "There's still someone on the 5th floor." Wang Kong looked at the Tower of 100 Supremes but did not leave. At that moment, Lu Ming was on the 5th level. A green ring appeared on the 5th level. It was condensed by the wind concept and had reached the stage of level 2 upper tier. Lu Ming still only unleashed 2 intense wind and fire. He tried his best to resist, but he was completely at a disadvantage. However, Lu Ming was not in a hurry. This way he could train the wind and fire concepts, especially the wind concept. He could also use it as a reference. Chapter 784. 784 The 10th Floor. Lu Ming did not hope to achieve any merits, but he hoped to not make any mistakes. He focused his mind and unleashed the wind and fire concepts to resist with all his might. Although every attack would make the long spear condensed by Lu Ming's wind and fire concept tremble as if it would collapse at any time, Lu Ming would block it every time. Lu Ming blocked and comprehended. Outside the Tower of 100 Supremes, everyone was watching. "What's going on? Who was it? Why are you on the 5th floor for so long?" "It's the person who came with Chu Zhongshuan. I don't know his name, but I guess he can only reach the 5th level at most. That's why he was stuck there for so long. If you can't pass, then come down earlier. There are other people who need to go in. Don't waste their time." At this moment, there were others who had just arrived and snorted coldly. "Boring." Wang Kong curled his lips contemptuously. Just as he was about to leave, his eyes moved. The others were also stunned. Because of this, the 6th level of the Tower of 100 Supremes suddenly shone. Lu Ming had reached the 6th level. After enduring for so long, he's finally reached the 6th floor. I guess the 6th floor is his limit. I bet he'll be ejected from the 6th floor in less than a minute. But before he could finish, he stopped abruptly. That was because the 7th level had also lit up. It had only been a few breaths since the 6th floor had lit up, and the 7th floor had already lit up. Those people under the Tower of 100 Supremes couldn't help but open their mouths. The few people who said that Lu Ming's limit was the 6th level and that he would be ejected in less than a minute were so ashamed that their faces turned red. This face-smacking was too fast. The 7th floor was already the highest floor that Wang Kong had reached, and now someone else had reached it. Interesting. Wang Kong stepped back and stared at the Tower of 100 Supremes. The 7th floor stopped again. The 8th floor did not light up for a long time and no one came out. In the Tower of 100 Supremes, Lu Ming felt that he had trained enough on the 5th level and once again unleashed the thunder mentality. He fused the 3 types of mentality and instantly defeated the green ring, entering the 6th level. The intent realm of the 6th level was equivalent to the peak of a 2nd-grade minister. Lu Ming only needed a few breaths to defeat it and ascend to the 7th level. Therefore, the time it took for the 6th and 7th floor to light up was only a few breaths. The 7th level had a complete level 2 concept. A long lightning spear formed by lightning shot towards Lu Ming. He was fast and ruthless. He appeared in front of Lu Ming in an instant. Lu Ming controlled the 3 concepts to resist the lightning spear. This time, the battle lasted for more than 10 minutes. Haha, my thunder concept has finally reached the completion of the 2nd level's initial stage. In the process of the fierce battle with the lightning spear, Lu Ming had an epiphany and cultivated the thunder concept to the peak of the 2nd level beginner. The power of the fusion of the 3 intents increased again, and it destroyed the lightning spear in one fell swoop. 7th level passed. Lu Ming passed through the door of light and stepped into the 8th level. When Lu Ming stepped onto the 8th level of the Tower of 100 Supremes lit up. Under the tower, everyone could not help but widen their eyes. Lu Ming had actually reached the 8th level. Terrifying. In that case, Lu Ming's comprehension of intent realm had already surpassed that of Luan Xiongfei and Wang Kong. Amazing. Lu Ming is indeed amazing. Chu Zhongshuan secretly praised. Intent realm doesn't represent all of one's combat power. Although this person's intent realm is not bad, his combat power might not be that strong. Wang Kong coldly snorted. No one said a word. They knew that Wang Kong had been surpassed and were unhappy. They just raised their heads and looked at the Tower of 100 Supremes. Would he be able to charge to the 9th level? They couldn't help but look forward to it. The 8th level of intent was the peak of the complete level 2. Lu Ming had 3 types of intent and was no match for it. Therefore he unleashed the Earth intent. As soon as the Earth intent was used, the 4 intents combined and crushed him. Lu Ming ascended to the 9th level. The 9th level is lit up. Someone has reached the 9th level. Amazing, amazing. As long as he performs well on the 9th level, he might be able to get a token that leads to a higher cultivation holy land. The 9th level is extremely difficult to pass. We have to do our best. The better we perform, the more likely we'll be able to get the token. At the bottom of the tower, everyone's eyes were wide open as they stared at the top of the tower at the 9th level. Let's see when someone will be ejected. The intent of the 9th level had not been raised to the 3rd level. If it had been raised to the 3rd level, there would be no need to compare. A 3rd level intent could completely crush a 2nd level intent. 9 combat swords appeared on the 9th floor. Blue, red, gold. It was actually the 9 commonly seen intents. Each of them condensed into a combat sword and stabbed toward Lu Ming. The 9 combat swords formed a sword array. Boom. The 4 intents fused and formed a 4-colored battle suit on Lu Ming's body. It covered his entire body and even his face. At the same time, he wielded a long spear and attacked with terrifying power. Lu Ming realized that the mentalities that appeared in the Tower of 100 Talents were the 9 common mentalities. Therefore, those who cultivated special mentalities would have an advantage here. This was because special mentalities were more powerful and mysterious. For example, the Earth concept was the strongest of Lu Ming's 4 concepts. When it was combined with the other 3 concepts, the power that erupted was also the most terrifying. Bang, bang, bang. The sounds of collision rang out continuously. Bang. A combat sword condensed from the Will of Mountain was first defeated by Lu Ming. After 1 combat sword was defeated, the power of the remaining 8 wills was much weaker. Then 1 combat sword after another was defeated by Lu Ming. Soon, all 9 combat swords were defeated by Lu Ming. A door of light appeared in front of the platform. Is that the entrance to the 10th floor? Lu Ming muttered. According to Chu Zhongshuan, it was very difficult for ordinary people to pass the 9th level. It was already not bad to be able to make it to the 9th level and even persist for a period of time. On the 9th level, 9 types of commonly seen wills condensed into 9 combat swords, forming a sword array. Furthermore, they were all at the completion of level 2. An ordinary person would not be able to pass it. Lu Ming was the only one who had fused 4 intents and a powerful earth intent that could pass. Then what would be on the 10th floor? Lu Ming stepped forward and stepped into the door of light. Outside the tower, when Lu Ming stepped into the door of light that led to the 10th level, all the lights on the 9th level suddenly went out. All the lights in the tower were extinguished. The light is gone. That person has failed. They did not know Lu Ming's name. That's not right. Why isn't he out yet? Usually after failing you'll be ejected. You wouldn't have died inside, right? I don't think so. I've never heard of anyone in the Tower of 100 Supremes dying. I'm waiting. However, an hour had passed in the blink of an eye and Lu Ming had not come out. 2 hours later, Lu Ming had not come out. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed but Lu Ming had not come out. Everyone was speechless. What was going on? Did he really die inside? However, the others wanted to go in but couldn't. This meant that there were still people inside. Chapter 785. 785 Chapter 785 Token acquired. What's going on? Chu Zhongshuan was also a little anxious. He was worried that something had happened to Lu Ming. Chu Zhongshuan, who is this man who came with you? Wang Kong's eyes turned to Chu Zhongshuan, and a sharp light flashed in his eyes. He is Lu Ming. Chu Zhongshuan said after a moment of silence. It was just a name, there was nothing to hide. Lu Ming? Who is it? You don't even know Lu Ming? It seems like you've been in seclusion for too long. I heard that the first place on the Heavenly King ranking this year is called Lu Ming. So it's him. Some of the people at the scene had heard of Lu Ming's name before, while some had not. Lu Ming, it's him. Wang Kong's eyes were even sharper, as if there were flames burning in them. Of course he had heard of Lu Ming. During the Battle of the Heavenly King list, several of the Wang family's elites had died, and they were all killed by him. I'd like to see what's going on with this 100-venerated pagoda. How many days can you stay in there? Wang Kong sneered. He appeared on a huge rock not far away and sat down cross-legged. In fact, Lu Ming himself was a little surprised. When he stepped through the door of light and appeared on the 10th floor, he discovered that there were two old men sitting cross-legged on the 10th floor. The two old men were dressed in gray robes, and they did not seem to be emitting any aura at all. They were just like two ordinary old men. Of course, Lu Ming did not really think that they were two ordinary elders. It was impossible for ordinary elders to be here. The only possibility was that the other party's cultivation was so deep that he could not sense it at all. When Lu Ming appeared, the two elders' gazes fell on him and they looked surprised. Interesting. He has comprehended 4 kinds of intent and has successfully merged them. This is very rare. One of the old men said. It's more than rare. I've never seen anyone who has fused 4 wills and can still cultivate to the 2nd level. Well, I've seen someone who has fused 3 wills. Another old man said. Lu Ming of the junior generation greets the 2 seniors. Lu Ming cupped his fists and bowed respectfully. Not bad, little guy. One of them nodded. Senior, may I ask what the test for the 10th floor is? Lu Ming asked. Assessment? No, you've already passed all of them, but since you've reached the 10th floor, we 2 old guys can't not show our appreciation. The eyes of the old man on the left lit up as soon as he finished speaking. It was as if 2 balls of fire were burning. In the next moment, endless flames enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming was shocked. He released 4 intents and shouted at the same time, Senior, what do you mean by that? Kid, it's good for you to resist with only fire concept. The old man said. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. These 2 elders were unfathomable. It would be easy for them to kill him. Why did they have to do this? From the old man's tone, there seemed to be another reason. At once, Lu Ming kept the other 3 concepts and only used the fire concept to resist. When the flames controlled by the elder surrounded Lu Ming, he did not feel the slightest bit of heat. Instead, he felt very comfortable. He felt as if he was bathing in the fire concept, and the various changes of the fire concept appeared before his eyes. The fire mentality has such a transformation. Amazing, it's really amazing. Why didn't I think of it? A moment later, Lu Ming's eyes brightened. He closed his eyes and began to comprehend. His perception was completely immersed in the fire concept of the outside world. As for his own fire concept, it changed as he comprehended it. This kid has such strong comprehension. The eyes of the old man on the left lit up and he couldn't help but praise. His comprehension is indeed amazing. He has comprehended it so quickly. But it's not surprising. To be able to successfully merge 4 kinds of intent and cultivate to this realm, even if he had a great encounter, his comprehension is absolutely amazing. The old man on the right said. Just like that, Lu Ming was immersed in cultivation. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. 3 days later, Lu Ming's fire concept suddenly became violent and powerful. His fire concept had finally broken through to the 2nd level lower tier. 3 days to break through the bottleneck. Not bad, not bad. The old man on the left nodded and put away his fire concept. Many thanks for Senior's help. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He knew that the old man had the intention to help him. Kid, don't be happy too early. There's more. The eyes of the elder on the right lit up. He opened his mouth and a strong wind blew. Endless wind concept enveloped Lu Ming. Wind concept. Lu Ming was overjoyed and continued to cultivate. In the blink of an eye, another 3 days passed. Lu Ming's concept of wind had also successfully broken through and reached level 2 lower tier. Kid, the 2 of us have only grasped these 2 intents. Consider it your reward for passing the level. You'll have to comprehend the other intents on your own. The old man on the right withdrew his wind concept and said with a smile. Many thanks to the 2 seniors. Lu Ming bowed and thanked him again. Oh, and this token. Take it. With your talent, you're fully qualified to go to a higher holy land to cultivate. The elder on the left took out a token and tossed it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming received it and was overjoyed. Wasn't his purpose here for this token? Now he had finally obtained it. Lu Ming bowed again to express his gratitude. Go. The elder on the right waved his hand and a powerful force acted on Lu Ming's body. With a flash of light, Lu Ming realized that he had left the Tower of 100 Supremes and appeared in the air outside the tower. At the same time, the vital essence in his body was no longer suppressed and could be used freely. Lu Ming circulated his essential core and landed on the ground. Lu Ming has come out. As soon as Lu Ming appeared, someone exclaimed. Lu Ming had actually stayed in the Tower of 100 Supremes for 6 days and then appeared safe and sound. This was somewhat unbelievable. In the past, even if someone cleared the level they would only get a token, but no one stayed inside for 6 days. On a huge rock not far away, Wang Kong opened his eyes. His eyes were like 2 balls of fire. He moved his body and his hot breath spread toward Lu Ming. He suddenly landed in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming, what did you experience in there? Speak. Wang Kong asked, his tone filled with command. What did I experience inside? What does it have to do with you? Lu Ming frowned and cast a glance at Wang Kong. Lu Ming, what's with your attitude? If I say it's related to me, then it's related to me. Also, did you get a token that leads to a higher cultivation Holy Land? Hand it over. Wang Kong coldly rebuked. Idiot, get out of my way, you're blocking the way. Lu Ming was really speechless. Who did Wang Kong think he was? Other people might be afraid of him, but Lu Ming had come so far. Who had he been afraid of? Lu Ming, don't think that you can be arrogant in front of me just because you've ranked first on the Heavenly King list and your will of heaven and earth is stronger. Let me tell you, the Heavenly King list is a joke in my eyes. Although you've passed the Tower of 100 Talents, your will of heaven and earth can't represent your combat power. I advise you to hand over the token obediently before I do anything to you. Wang Kong's eyes turned cold. Chapter 786. 786 Chapter 786 Battling Wang Kong. Around them the others watched quietly. They knew that Wang Kong was going to snatch Lu Ming's token. It was up to Lu Ming to deal with it. Chu Zhongshuan wanted to say something but he hesitated. He wanted to speak up for Lu Ming but the Wang family was powerful. If he stepped in he might get himself into trouble. He pondered for a while and did not say anything in the end. Get lost, good dogs don't block the way. Lu Ming had completely lost his patience. His expression turned cold and he berated coldly. You're looking for death. Wang Kong's eyes turned completely cold. His body was covered in blazing flames. The terrifying temperature twisted the space. Boom. He took a step forward, his hand was like a heavenly blade and he slashed at Lu Ming. Get lost. Lu Ming also struck out with his palm, activating the prison-suppressing heaven technique. Bang. Their palms met and a buzzing sound was heard. Lu Ming's body swayed slightly while Wang Kong took 2 steps back. The rocks where his feet stepped on were vaporized by the terrifying temperature, leaving 2 dark holes. A battle in the air. Lu Ming rose into the air and appeared high in the sky. Kill? Wang Kong's killing intent surged, and the temperature of his body became even more terrifying. He circulated the Wang family's sky-burning flame art to the extreme. At the same time, his extreme purple heavenly fire bloodline burst out, making Wang Kong look like he was about to turn into a ball of fire. His aura was many times stronger than Wang Ju's when he was still a peak king tier. Wang Kong's cultivation was also at the peak 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier. Raging flames burning the heavens. Burning extermination slash. A saber appeared in Wang Kong's hand. The saber was also covered in flames of terrifying temperature. What is this? The fire concept has evil levered the burning concept. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Wang Kong's talent was indeed worthy of being ranked 430th on the list of top 1,000 talents. He had actually evil levered his fire mentality into the more terrifying burning mentality. The essence realm of heaven and earth was not always the same. It didn't mean that just because one had comprehended the concept of fire, it was the concept of fire. Some geniuses with terrifying talent could achieve evolution on the basis of this intent realm and evil veer into an even more terrifying intent realm. As for what kind of intent realm they could evil veer into, everyone was different and it would depend on them slaviers. For example, the 9 common intents might seem to be the weakest, but they also had the most infinite possibilities. For example, the fire concept could evil veer into countless types of concepts related to fire. Many of these concepts were extremely powerful and far surpassed the fire concept itself. The burning concept was one of the types of concepts that had evil levered after the fire concept. Whoosh! A terrifying saber gleam slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's body exuded 4 different intents, which merged with the prison-suppressing heaven technique. He threw a palm at Wang Kong. Boom! In the sky there was a terrifying roar. The clouds were torn apart and 5 colored lights filled the entire sky. This time Lu Ming's figure only swayed a little while Wang Kong took 9 steps back. How is that possible? Wang Kong's eyes were filled with shock. He had already used all his strength, but he was still pushed back by Lu Ming's palm. It was unbelievable. He was a heaven's favorite of the Wang family. The sky-burning flame skill he cultivated was a god-grade technique. In addition, his intent realm had evil levered and he had comprehended the burning intent realm. Furthermore, his bloodline martial technique was also extremely powerful. It was also a demigod-level martial technique. It could be said that he had no shortcomings at all. In a battle of the same level he was not afraid of anyone except for a few extremely rare geniuses or divine-level geniuses who had awakened divine bloodlines. But now Lu Ming was of a higher level and had defeated him. When had he ever been forced to retreat by someone of a higher level? Damn it! Wang Kong bellowed. The flames on his body roared as if they were going to burn the world. Is there any use in shouting? Lu Ming took a step forward and swung his palm at Wang Kong. Boom. The two exchanged blows and Wang Kong retreated again. To be honest, Wang Kong was very strong. He was even stronger than Shangguan Jinjue. When Shangguan Jinjue was facing Lu Ming, he was completely suppressed and killed in a few moves. Wang Kong, on the other hand, was still able to block it, though he was also at a complete disadvantage. Bang, bang, bang. After a dozen moves, Wang Kong was completely suppressed. No matter how much he roared, it was useless. Bang. In the end, Wang Kong was sent flying thousands of meters away by Lu Ming's palm. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Lu Ming, just you wait. Wang Kong roared and turned to leave, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Lu Ming did not pursue him. Wang Kong was strong, extremely strong. If he was determined to leave, Lu Ming would not be able to kill him unless he used the Tao of Inscription and cooperated with him. The surrounding people looked at Lu Ming in shock. Lu Ming had actually defeated Wang Kong. Furthermore, he had defeated someone of a higher level. It was truly terrifying. Brother Lu is really amazing. I admire you. Chu Zhongshuan walked over, his face still filled with surprise. You're welcome, Brother Chu. I need to find a place to cultivate in seclusion, so I'll take my leave now. Lu Ming cupped his fists and left. Some of them were left with a belly full of questions. They were guessing whether Lu Ming had obtained a token that led to a higher cultivation holy land. After flying tens of thousands of miles, Lu Ming landed on a mountain peak. He entered the Supreme Shrine and 5 to 6 storage rings appeared in his hand. These storage rings were obtained from the enemies he had killed during this period of time, such as Shangguan Jinjue and the others. All of them were above the spiritual ocean tier, and there were even those at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier. There was also Shangguan Jinjue, a prodigy. The things inside were very rich. Just the supreme spiritual crystals alone were worth 800 million. There were even dozens of middle-grade intent crystals, but they were of all sorts. In addition, there were many martial arts, spirit weapons and pills. It was a pity that there were no raw gemstones. However, Lu Ming was satisfied. Now his 4 intents had all reached the peak of the 2nd level. Even his wind and fire intents had reached the 2nd level lower tier. He could continue to devour spiritual crystals to improve his cultivation. However, 800 million spiritual crystals would not be much of an improvement. One should know that Lu Ming had consumed more than 800 million spiritual crystals in the process of breaking through to the spirit ocean realm from the martial king realm. Furthermore, he had cultivated a super spirit sea. If Lu Ming wanted to increase his cultivation, the energy consumption would be even more terrifying. Bang bang bang. Piles of top-grade spirit crystals were devoured and Lu Ming began to refine them crazily. 100 million, 200 million. Not long after, Lu Ming had refined 600 million out of the 800 million supreme spiritual crystals. His cultivation had only risen to the peak of the 2nd level of the spiritual ocean realm. The remaining 200 million was not enough to break through to the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean realm. Hence, Lu Ming did not continue devouring. However, his cultivation had advanced to the peak of the 2nd level of the spiritual ocean realm, and it had also increased Lu Ming's essential core by a large margin. In his spirit ocean, his essential core was surging. At this moment, a spiritual herb appeared in Lu Ming's hand. It was a level 6 spiritual herb. It had been a long time since Lu Ming cultivated his physical body. Now it was time for him to cultivate properly. He activated the 10,000 spiritual combat body and began to refine spirit herbs and cultivate his physical body. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Lu Ming had refined more than 26th level spiritual herbs and improved his physical body to the perfected 7th level in one go. However, to break through to the 8th level, it was possible to do so with spirit herbs that were above the 7th level. Chapter 787. 787 Fatty and Ruan Tingting in danger. After a few days of cultivation, Lu Ming's abilities had improved a little. He ended his seclusion and continued to look for the marks to comprehend the concepts. Half a day later, Lu Ming sat cross-legged beside a huge stone axe, quietly comprehending. The intent realm that this stone axe emitted was the earth intent realm. There were not many people who could comprehend the earth essence realm now. There were only 5 people around the stone axe, including Lu Ming. The position of the dragon's head was the center of the dragon's vein. The spiritual chi of heaven and earth was so dense that it had even turned into fog, floating between heaven and earth. There was even the will of heaven and earth permeating the area. It was obvious that there was a Tao eye in the dragon vein. It was very easy to comprehend the will of heaven and earth here. The Wang family, one of the 6 great ancient families, was located here. In one of the Wang family's courtyards, Wang Kong stood beside a slender young man who was wearing a cloud pattern. There was no trace of arrogance on his face. Instead, there was respect and fear. Wang Kong, you're saying that Lu Ming might have obtained a token that leads to a higher cultivation sanctuary. The young man spoke. His voice was not loud, but it was filled with dignity. Brother Vast Heaven, that's right. Lu Ming made it to the 9th level and stayed there for 6 days. It's highly possible that he has obtained a token. Wang Kong answered honestly. Oh, that's very likely. I must get that token and use it to enter the blood pool to form my 3rd bloodline. Wang Kong, go get it for me. The young man's eyes lit up. The young man's name was Wang Haoyin, ranked 356th on the list of top 1,000 talents. Although his ranking was only a few dozen places higher than Wang Kong's, they were not even on the same level. The top 300 were known as God-level prodigies. Wang Haoyin was in the top 400, close to the top 300. He was a quasi-god prodigy who was about to awaken his 3rd bloodline. Once the 3rd bloodline was awakened and it was a divine bloodline, one would be a divine-level genius. It was a pity that Wang Haoyin didn't get the token to go to a higher holy land when he reached the 9th floor of the Tower of 100 Talents. Wang Kong knew that Wang Haoyin wanted to get the token and go to a higher cultivation holy land, the blood pool. He wanted to accumulate the power of his bloodline and condense a divine bloodline. Therefore, when he knew that Lu Ming might have a token, he must get it. Brother Haoyin, that Lu Ming is extremely powerful. I couldn't take him down in the last battle. Wang Kong's expression changed slightly. I see. No wonder you've come to find me. It's fine. You just have to say my name and I don't think he'll dare to refuse. Go. Wang Haoyin waved his hand. All right. Wang Kong nodded and left. Lu Ming stood by the stone axe. He spent 5 days in comprehension. Lu Ming had gained a lot. He felt that the earth concept could break through to level 2 lower tier at any time. At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly turned his head and looked in one direction. A young man walked over. Wang Kong. Lu Ming, I finally found you. Wang Kong coldly said. What's wrong? A defeated opponent is looking for a beating again? Lu Ming smiled faintly. Hearing this, the other 4 people around the stone axe were shocked. Did Wang Kong really lose to this young man? Wang Kong's face darkened as the wound was mended. I'm not the one looking for you this time. You've heard of Wang Haoyin, right? Wang Haoyin, a quasi-god prodigy ranked 356th? Lu Ming's expression changed. That's right. He asked me to come and take your token. Hand over the token. Wang Kong coldly said, his tone filled with threat. Ha ha ha. At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly burst out laughing. What are you laughing at? Wang Kong's face darkened. I'm laughing at your Wang family. As one of the 6 great ancient families, it's simply a disgrace. You don't have the ability to get it, so you want to get it from others without putting in any effort. Who was Wang Haoyan? If he wants it, tell him to come and get it himself. Lu Ming laughed out loud, his tone full of disdain. How dare you, Lu Ming? You dare to insult the Wang family? No one can save you. Wang Kong roared. Why don't we try? Lu Ming's eyes were as sharp as a blade. He exuded a powerful aura and took a step forward. Boom. Heaven and earth rumbled, and a powerful aura emanated from Lu Ming's body. Wang Kong's expression changed. He quickly retreated and shouted, Lu Ming, just you wait. With that he quickly left. You cowards. Lu Ming shook his head and continued to sit cross-legged beside the stone axe. However, just as he sat down, Lu Ming's expression changed. A voice transmission jade talisman appeared in his hand. He scanned it with his mind and his expression changed slightly. It was Qiao Xian who had sent him the message. She seemed to be in a hurry and was looking for Lu Ming. She wanted to meet him somewhere. Lu Ming's brows furrowed slightly. He stopped cultivating and flew toward the address that Qiao Xian had left behind. A few hours later, Lu Ming saw Qiao Xian. Lu Ming, Fatty and Tingting are in trouble. Qiao Xian said anxiously when she saw Lu Ming. What's going on? Lu Ming's expression changed. It's like this. Immediately, Qiao Xian explained everything she knew. It turned out that after entering the 100 venerated mountains, Kong Jin had been cultivating with Ruan Tingting. Everyone knew what Fatty was thinking. However, he didn't expect that some time ago Ruan Tingting had obtained a great opportunity. She had actually obtained the inheritance of a peerless master from an imprint. That inheritance was actually a god-grade cultivation technique. Many people were shocked by this. The prodigies of the Yuan family, one of the 6 great ancient families, were nearby. They immediately forced Ruan Tingting to hand over the divine-grade cultivation technique. Ruan Tingting naturally refused to hand it over, and then the Yuan family made their move. This time, Kong Jin had defeated the prodigy of the Yuan family in the beginning. However, the Yuan family had sent out even more people. Kong Jin was no match for them, so he had to escape with Ruan Tingting. Now they were trapped in a cave. Tingting and Fatty didn't send us any news. They must be afraid of implicating us. I only heard about it because this matter is getting bigger and bigger. Right now, Fatty and the others are in danger, so I thought of you. Qiao Xian said. Chaos, damn it. There was a sharp glint in Lu Ming's eyes. The Yuan family and the Wang family were really jackals of the same lair. They thought that they were high and mighty and that they could take other people's things as they pleased. Lu Ming, I've also heard that Tingting's legacy is deeply engraved in the soul and can't be passed on to outsiders. Once it's passed on, the soul will explode and the person will die. Lu Ming said. Qiao Xian said anxiously. Do you know where Fatty and the others are trapped? Bring me there. Lu Ming's eyes flickered with a cold light. It's at a place with a mark. It's quite a distance from here. Let's go. Lu Ming and Qiao Xian rose into the air and disappeared. Hoo. The fat man walked forward, gasping for air. His entire body was covered in blood. It was all his own blood. He held his battle axe and blocked the entrance of a cave. Ruan Tingting was in the cave. The walls of the cave had been marked by a peerless expert, which made the rocks of the cave extremely hard and indestructible. Chapter 788. 788 Battle at the entrance of the cave. It was also because of this cave that they were able to block the Yuan family's attack. This time, the Yuan clan had sent out 3 Heaven's favorites. Of the 3 Heaven's favorites, 2 of them were in the top 500. One of them was ranked 420th and he was extremely strong. In addition, there were still 8 young experts at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier. Although Fatty had successfully broken through during this period of time and reached the 2nd level of the spiritual ocean tier, he was still not a match for them and was injured by so many people joining hands. If it wasn't for the fact that the cave's entrance was narrow and could only allow one person to attack at a time, Fatty wouldn't have been able to block it at all. He had already been here for 2 days and 2 nights. The chaotic family took turns to attack him, and his injuries were getting more and more serious. But he couldn't fall. For Tingting he couldn't fall. Outside the cave, the elites of the Yuan family surrounded the cave with cold eyes. Lu Ming had seen one of them before. He was Luan Xiongfei, ranked 432nd on the list of top 1,000 talents. The other person was called Chaotic Tianhao, ranked 420th. Fatty, I advise you not to put up any unnecessary resistance or else you'll suffer. Wan Xiongfei said coldly. I've already said that when I received the inheritance, there was a restriction. I can't pass it on to anyone else. Once I do, my soul will explode. Even if you want it, I can't give it to you. Ruan Tingting's voice could be heard from the cave. Of course we know this. However, as long as you return to the Wan family with us, we will naturally have a way to extract the inheritance from your soul. Wan Xiongfei sneered. Do you think I'm stupid? If you're not careful, your soul will be destroyed. Even if you're lucky, you'll end up with an idiotic ending. Kong Jin shouted angrily. That will depend on her own luck. Wan Xiongfei sneered. A god-grade cultivation technique is so precious that it's not something you can control. You'd better obediently follow me to my house. Wan Qianhao said coldly. Dream on. If you have the ability, come up and fight me and see how I chop you up with my axe. Kong Jin roared like an injured beast, and a wild aura filled the air. Not far from the cave, many people were watching, but no one came forward to say a word. What a joke! Who would dare to interrupt and interfere in the affairs of an ancient family? He could only blame his bad luck for being targeted by an ancient family. You're really looking for death. Wan Xiongfei's killing intent exploded. This damn fatty was even more difficult to deal with than they had imagined. He had actually blocked the entrance of the cave. It had already been 2 days. They had taken turns to attack, but they could not break through the fatty's defense. If it wasn't for this cave, Fatty wouldn't have been able to withstand many of their attacks with his injured body. Fatty, forget it. Just hand me over to them. Ruan Tingting's eyes welled up with tears as she looked at Fatty's bloodied body. She didn't want to mess up her family. She wasn't willing to do so. She hadn't avenged her parents yet, but the power of the ancient family was too strong. What could she do? Don't say any more. That's impossible unless I die. Kong Jin's tone was firm. Ruan Tingting sighed. At this moment she really hated herself for being useless. If you want to die, I'll grant you your wish. Wan Xiongfei strode forward and rushed toward the cave. Come on. The fatty grinned and his eyes revealed a fierce light. He raised his battle axe and began to fight with Wan Xiongfei. Boom. Boom. Terrifying chi shot out in all directions, but there were marks on the stone walls of the cave that glowed. All the chi shot out was like a stone sinking into the ocean. The two of them exchanged over 100 moves. After that, Wan Xiongfei retreated, his face dark. This fatty's battle strength was simply too strong, and his endurance was also too strong. He actually couldn't break through his heavily injured body. Haha, Wan Xiongfei, Wan Tianhao, you can't even deal with a heavily injured person. How about this? Leave this place to our Jiang clan. What do you think? At this moment, a loud laugh could be heard as more than 10 figures stepped through the air. When he saw who had arrived, Wan Tianhao's expression changed and he said in a deep voice, Jiang Taiyu, is that you? What is the Jiang family doing here? Wan Tianhao, a god-tier cultivation technique has appeared, and everyone has a share. Yulwan clan can't be thinking of keeping it for your slaviers, right? Jiang Taiyu smiled faintly. You guys also want a god-grade cultivation technique? We, the Wan family, found that girl first. Wan Tianhao said with a cold expression. So what if you found it first? I gave you a few days and you still can't settle it. Who can you blame? It's our Jiang family's turn. Jiang Taiyu said with a smile. Wan Tianhao and Wan Xiongfei had unsightly expressions on their faces. Jiang Taiyu was ranked 419th on the list of top 1,000 talents, one rank higher than Wan Tianhao. Moreover, there were 2 other geniuses among the Jiang family's people. There were 3 geniuses in total and they were not weaker than them at all. In fact, they might even be stronger. The 2 sides were instantly at daggers drawn. How about this, we'll bring that little girl back first and let the elders of the 2 families discuss it, what do you think? Wan Xiongfei said. Alright, I have no objections. Jiang Taiyu said. I don't have any objections either. Now it's your Jiang family's turn to attack. As long as you can get rid of that fatty, everything will be easy, Wan Tianhao said, nodding. They reached an agreement. At the entrance of the cave, Fatty grinned. In the cave, Ruan Tingting's eyes were filled with despair and her face became even paler. It was obvious that she had been injured before, and it was not a light injury. Let me kill this fatty. Jiang Taiyu strode forward, his eyes like lightning. Let's see who you'll behead. Suddenly, a cold voice sounded out, and an enormous force field descended with a loud bang. Xian Yinqing stepped through the air. "Little Qing, quickly leave." The fatty's expression changed as he shouted. Xian Yinqing was definitely no match for the Jiang family and the Wan family, the 6 prodigies, and more than a dozen young experts at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier. "Shut up. Mind your own business." Xian Yinqing shouted. He did not stop as he stepped forward. His body was surrounded by a black light. His black dress fluttered in the wind, making him look like a demoness. "What a beautiful girl. It's not bad to bring her back as a concubine." Jiang Taiyu's eyes lit up with a hint of passion. Bang. In the next moment Jiang Taiyu moved. Like a peerless divine weapon, he broke through the sky demon force field and charged towards Xian Yinqing. "Destruction cut," Xian Yinqing said softly. In the sky demon force field, the space twisted and a terrifying cutting force exploded. Jiang Taiyu's expression changed suddenly. His body glowed with black light and he slashed forward like a divine weapon. Buzz. Buzz. Jiang Taiyu's arm collided with the destructive cutting power, making a sound of gold and iron colliding and sending sparks in all directions. "Interesting, but you're still far from being able to stop me with this." Jiang Taiyu's eyes glowed and his body suddenly moved. It was as if he had transformed into a sword, a slender sword of assassination, a sword of a poisonous snake, and he began to swim in the sky demon power field. The sharp sound of something breaking through the air resounded through the sky. Whoosh, whoosh. The Jiang family's immemorial divine weapon technique was extremely wonderful and could refine people into divine weapons. The sword chi was extremely sharp, breaking through the demonic force field and cutting through the destructive force. It was headed for Xian Yinqing. Chapter 789. 789 Gathering. The Hand of the Heavenly Devil. Xian Yinqing pressed down with one hand again, and a beautiful arm formed. It descended like the arm of a supreme demon and pressed down on Jiang Taiyu. It was clear that Xian Yinqing's cultivation had also improved and reached the 2nd level of the spiritual ocean tier. The palms seemed to have locked onto Jiang Taiyu. Jiang Taiyu could not avoid it in the field of the heavenly demon. Jiang Taiyu's expression changed slightly. His palm was like a sword as he slashed out. Clang. Jiang Taishu's hand clashed with Xian Yinqing's demonic hand. Xian Yinqing's demonic hand was defeated, but Jiang Taishu was forced to take 3 steps back. So strong. Everyone in the surroundings widened their eyes. Jiang Taiyu was ranked 419th on the list of top 1,000 talents. His cultivation had already reached the limit of the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier. Yet, he was defeated by Xian Yinqing, who was only at the 2nd level of the spiritual ocean tier. Good, very good. Little girl, you've successfully angered me. Jiang Taishu's eyes were cold. The dark light on his body became even more intense, and a sharp aura emanated from him, tearing the space apart. At the same time, a black iron sword floated above his head. The iron sword was thin and long like a poisonous snake. The 9 Esilavira chakras were shining brightly. This was Jiang Taiyu's bloodline. Back then Jiang Taishu's bloodline was a mountain, and the mountain was filled with all kinds of weapons. However, Jiang Taiyu's bloodline was different. It was only a sword, but it was purer. An extremely sharp artistic conception emanated from Jiang Taiyu's body. It was a vast sword power. Sword concept. That's the sword concept. Someone exclaimed. The sword concept was also an evil-levered concept. It was evil-levered from the metal concept. Those who had awakened weapon-type bloodlines such as swords and sabers were the easiest to comprehend the creation of metal. As for the metal mentality, it could evil-lever into the sword mentality, saber mentality, spear mentality, and so on. For example, the sword mentality, combined with the sword-type bloodline and the corresponding sword techniques, was extremely terrifying. Kill? Die. Jiang Taiyu shouted. His arm was like a sword, slashing out. The extremely sharp sword chi slashed forward, as if it could cut through all obstacles. The sky demon force field was torn apart in an instant. The demonic lotus throne. At this moment, Xian Yinqing frowned slightly and pressed his hands again. This time a lotus platform appeared in the air. The lotus platform was black and a black petal flew out. It was extremely sharp and confronted Jiang Taiyu's sword chi. Buzz. A sharp sound rang out and the two of them cancelled each other out. Jiang Taiyu's expression darkened and he launched a frenzied attack. However, Xian Yinqing was also extremely powerful. For a moment he was locked in a stalemate with Jiang Taiyu. The others' expressions were grave. Xian Yanqing was too strong. He was only at the second level of the spiritual ocean tier. If she broke through to the third level of the spiritual ocean tier, what would happen? Would he be able to suppress Jiang Taiyu with a flip of his hand? In the blink of an eye, Xian Yanqing and Jiang Taiyu had exchanged dozens of moves, and neither of them had a clear winner. Buzz. With another blow, the two of them were forced back. Let's end this quickly. Why don't we join forces and capture this woman? Wan Tianhao said. Good. Let's attack together. Jiang Taiyu nodded with a dark face. Xian Yanqing's combat power was beyond his expectations. At this moment, Xian Yanqing controlled the Sky Demon force field. Within the force field, she was unbelievably fast and appeared at the entrance of the cave in an instant. Fatty, you heal first. I'll block here. Xian Yanqing said. No, you can't fight against so many of them alone. They're taking turns to attack you. You can't hold them back. You'd better break out alone. Kong Jin said. Shut up. Xian Yanqing said coldly, but he had no intention of leaving. Kong Jin was speechless. Then he said, why don't we send a voice transmission to Lu Ming and ask him to come over? With the three of us we should be able to get out of here. All right, I'll send him a message. Xian Yanqing nodded. He took out a jade voice transmission talisman and sent a message to Lu Ming. Kill? At this moment, Jiang Taishu continued to attack Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing was blocking the entrance of the cave, so they had to attack alone. While the battle was going on, Lu Ming received Xian Yanqing's message on the way. He was even more anxious and his eyes flashed with killing intent. Miss Chow, it's very dangerous over there. Don't go over. I'll rush over and save Fatty and the others first. With that, Lu Ming took a step forward and his speed increased sharply, heading forward. At this time in the Wang family in Wang Haoyin's courtyard, Wang Kong stood beside Wang Haoyin and reported the news. He really said that? Wang Haoyin's eyes were filled with killing intent. That's right. Lu Ming is unruly and lawless. He doesn't care about you at all, brother Haoyin? Wang Kong said. He unruly? That's because I haven't met anyone who can tame him. I'll make him bow down to me. Wang Kong, take that trash with the surname Jian and come with me to the 100 Venerated Mountain. I'd like to see how arrogant he can be in front of me. Wang Haoyin said, and a cold killing intent filled the air. Alright, I heard that the good-for-nothing with the surname Jian is a good friend of Lu Ming. He actually dared to date a woman from my Wang family. He's really bold. Wang Kong sneered coldly and walked out of the courtyard. Soon, Wang Haoyin and Wang Kong were heading toward the 100 Venerated Mountains with a person. Boom. Boom. At the entrance of the cave, the battle had been going on for 3 hours. The 6 elites of the Jiang family and the Wan family took turns to attack Xian Yanqing. No matter how strong Xian Yanqing's true element was, he couldn't hold on any longer. He was sweating and panting heavily. Bitch, let's see how long you can last. Jiang Taiyu was attacking Xian Yanqing again. The storm-like attacks made Xian Yanqing's Sky Demon force field tremble violently. It seemed that it was difficult to maintain it. Boom. Boom. The two of them exchanged dozens of blows, and Xian Yanqing's breathing became heavier. Bitch, I'll destroy your cultivation and bring you back to the Jiang family to serve you well. Jiang Taiyu's face turned colder, but the evil fire in his eyes grew stronger. The stronger Xian Yanqing was, the more he aroused his desire to possess him. You won't have that chance. At this time, an extremely cold voice came from the distance. In the sky far away, a spear radiance cut through the void, bringing with it a terrifying sonic boom and stabbed toward Jiang Taiyu. Jiang Taiyu's expression changed. His palm was like a divine sword as he struck out. Clang. His palm collided with the spear radiance. In a split second, Jiang Taiyu's face changed greatly. With a quiver he retreated rapidly. Buzz. A figure appeared in the air holding a long spear. A bone-chilling killing intent emanated from his body. Lu Ming had arrived. Lu Ming, you're finally here. Xian Yanqing whispered. Little Qin, are you all right? Lu Ming turned around and looked at Xian Yanqing. I'm fine. Xian Yanqing shook his head. Ha, Lu Ming, you're here. It looks like your cultivation has improved greatly. This is great. Let's charge out together. Fatty laughed. Fatty, looks like you're not dead yet. Looking at Kong Jin's body that was covered in blood, Lu Ming's eyes turned even colder. Chapter 790. 790 Fighting Two Great Geniuses. I have thick skin and can take a beating. Kong Jin grinned. With Lu Ming here, the three of them would be able to charge out with Ruan Tingting. Lu Ming's eyes were like lightning as he swept a glance at Jiang Taiyu and the rest. He really wanted to go all out and kill these people. However, he also knew that it was more important to take Ruan Tingting and rush over. There would be plenty of opportunities to kill Jiang Taiyu, Luan Xiongfei, and the others. Boy, you're Lu Ming? At this moment, Jiang Taiyu's eyes were cold and sharp. The Jiang family's prodigy, Jiang Taishu, had been killed by Lu Ming during the Heavenly King ranking battle. This news had long spread among the younger generation of the Jiang family. Jiang Taishu was not an ordinary heaven's favorite. In the king's realm, he had only suppressed himself and could enter the Sea of Souls realm at any time. Once he entered the Sea of Souls realm, his cultivation would definitely improve by leaps and bounds, and he might even awaken a divine bloodline and enter the ranks of the god's favorite. However, he was too ambitious. He had been suppressing his cultivation and wanted to become the first on the Heavenly King ranking to increase his foundation and rise higher in the future. However, he was killed by Lu Ming. The higher-ups of the Jiang family were furious. Among the younger generation of the Jiang family, many of them wanted to kill Lu Ming to gain a righteous reputation. Not bad. Lu Ming replied coldly. Alright, I was just about to find you. Since you've come here yourself, I'll send you on your way. Jiang Taiyu's voice rang out faintly. In the next moment, his figure flashed like a sword of shadows, stabbing towards Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed and from a tricky angle. Lu Ming's lips curled into a sneer. Without even looking, he swept his long spear across. The dazzling spear's gleam emitted a sharp whistling sound and filled the surroundings. Clang. Jiang Taiyu's figure appeared. His palm struck the spear's shaft and bounced back. Then I'll cut you down head-on. Jiang Taiyu strolled forward. Sword will shot up into the sky from his entire body. He was like a peerless divine sword. Whoosh! He swung his palm at Lu Ming. Lu Ming sneered and stepped forward. He extended his palm and struck at Jiang Taiyu's palm. At this moment, the eyes of the people watching the battle flashed. Lu Ming was actually going against Jiang Taiyu with his body of flesh and blood. Was he not courting death? Who didn't know that the Jiang family cultivated the immemorial divine weapon technique? Their bodies were like divine weapons, indestructible, incomparably sharp, and could break anything. He could not even block it with a spirit weapon, but Lu Ming was using his body. At this moment, the members of the Jiang family sneered. They were looking forward to seeing Lu Ming's palm being cut in half. Clang. Lu Ming's palm and Jiang Taiyu's palm collided. It was as if two spirit weapons had clashed. A sharp aura spread out in all directions. Kacha. Then the sound of bones breaking was heard. Jiang Taiyu's expression changed and he let out a low roar like an injured beast. He retreated rapidly. Everyone's eyes could not help but fall on Jiang Taiyu. To be precise, they fell on his palm, which was bleeding and had been seriously deformed. On the other hand, Lu Ming's palm was unscathed. Everyone's eyes were filled with shock. In a head-on confrontation, Lu Ming actually had the upper hand. He had cracked the bone armor of Jiang Taiyu's palm with one palm. How was this possible? Jiang Taiyu was an existence who had cultivated the immemorial divine weapon technique. The people from the Jiang family were the most shocked. They knew better than anyone else that Jiang Taiyu's immemorial divine weapon technique had a profound level of mastery and he had comprehended sword will. His palm was extremely sharp, but now his spine had been broken by Lu Ming's flesh and blood. This was a huge blow to their confidence. How is that possible? How is that possible? Jiang Taiyu kept growling. His palm was covered in black light and crackling sounds could be heard. It was healing rapidly. Charge out. Lu Ming said to Xian Yanqing and the rest. Charge. Xian Yanqing, Kong Jin and Ruan Tingting rushed out of the cave. Kill? Lu Ming charged toward Jiang Taiyu. Let's attack together. Kill. Jiang Taiyu shouted. Suddenly, another Jiang family's paragon lunged at Lu Ming. This paragon was also in the top 500 and was extremely powerful. Meanwhile, Luan Tianhao, Luan Xiongfei, and the others charged toward Xian Yanqing. Lu Ming's aura was wild. He circulated the prison-suppressing heavenly art and the true war dragon technique at full force, launching a crazy attack. The members of the Jiang family were like divine weapons, and their limbs were killing weapons. The others could only keep a distance from them or it would be dangerous. However, Lu Ming cultivated the prison-destructive divine art. His hands and feet seemed to contain the divine monument and could suppress everything. He was also good at close combat. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming's palm struck out and he lifted his leg to kick out. His power was shocking as he fought against the two Jiang family's elites. The rumbling sounds continued. For a moment he actually suppressed the two Jiang family's elites, which shocked everyone. In the past few days, Lu Ming's cultivation and physical body had improved. Naturally, his combat strength had increased as well. If it were a few days ago, he would not have been able to achieve this. The onlookers in the distance were extremely shocked. Charge out from this side. Lu Ming let out a long hiss, his essential core boiling, and his attacks became more and more violent. Haha, amazing. Watch me. I'll smash it. Dandan stood on Lu Ming's shoulder and laughed heartily. Then she suddenly leaped out, her four limbs retracted into the turtle shell, and she smashed toward Jiang Taiyo's face. During this period of time, Dandan had swallowed a lot of spirit herbs and recovered a little, and her aura was stronger. Jiang Taiyu was suddenly attacked by Dandan and was hit in the face by Dandan. Clang. Dandan was bounced back and shouted, "Nest, what thick skin, I can't smash it." Jiang Taiyo's body was as strong as a divine weapon, but he was still a little dizzy after being hit by Dandan. Lu Ming seized the opportunity and swept his leg out, kicking Jiang Taiyu so hard that he spat out blood and retreated. They were about to break out of the siege. At that moment, a terrifying howl was heard. An extremely sharp aura and cold killing intent enveloped Lu Ming. Danger, extreme danger. Lu Ming felt his hair stand on end. In the distance, an arrow shot toward Lu Ming's back like a stream of light. Fast, it was too fast. Kill? The other Jiang family's paragon launched a frenzied attack at Lu Ming. He wanted to stall Lu Ming. Not good. Lu Ming felt that the person who shot the arrow was extremely powerful and was definitely far more powerful than Jiang Taiyu and the others. He had not expected that such a powerful person would launch a sneak attack and attack Jiang Taiyu and the other person with all his might. It was too late to dodge now. Lu Ming, be careful. Xian Yanqing exclaimed. She used the Sky Demon Force Field to cover her. Within the Sky Demon Force Field, her speed was as fast as lightning. Xian Yanqing's figure flashed and appeared in front of Lu Ming. At this moment, the arrow had already arrived. Xian Yanqing didn't even have the time to launch a powerful attack. He could only use his destructive cutting power to rush toward the arrow. However, the arrow was terrifyingly powerful. It instantly destroyed all the destructive cutting power and shot through the Sky Demon power field. Chapter 791. 791 Quasi-God Grade Heaven's Favorite. Puchi. The arrow pierced through Xian Yanqing's left shoulder, leaving a bloody hole. The powerful inertia carried Xian Yanqing back. Little Qing. Lu Ming bellowed. After forcing the Jiang family's elite to retreat with a single palm strike, he took advantage of the situation and wrapped his arm around Xian Yanqing's slender waist. He took a step forward and landed beside the cave. Fatty, retreat. Lu Ming roared. Kong Jin didn't go very far with Ruan Tingting, but with a roar he rushed back. Little Qing, how is it? Lu Ming held Xian Yanqing in his arms and kept injecting his vital essence to seal Xian Yanqing's wound, stopping the blood from flowing out. Fortunately, I avoided my vital parts so I won't die. Xian Yanqing's face was pale. Now where can you run to? Jiang Taiyo's face was cold as he stepped forward. Wan Qianhao and the rest also came over and surrounded Lu Ming and the rest. However, Lu Ming did not even look at them. His gaze was directed in another direction. A young man wearing a black iron battle suit with a cold gaze stepped in the air. His body exuded a terrifying aura and a strong will to fight. Chaotic Wind Cloud. It's Chaotic Wind Cloud. Someone exclaimed in shock. Lu Ming and the others are finished. The Wan family actually sent Luan Fengyun. Ranked 350th on the list of top 1,000 talents, Quasi-God Tier Heaven's favorite, Luan Fengyun. The exclamations were getting louder and louder. Lu Ming's pupils constricted. The person who had ambushed him was this person. Fatty, bring Tingting and Little Qing back to the cave. Lu Ming said. Kong Jin's face was solemn as he led Ruan Tingting and Xian Yanqing into the cave. Xian Yanqing sat cross-legged and began to heal. Although the arrow had injured his vital parts, the intent contained in it was extremely powerful. Xian Yanqing's injury was not as light as it looked. Wan Fengyun stepped forward and stood in the air. He said in a calm voice, Wan Qianhao, you're too slow. This matter has already reached Di Tian's Imperial Guards, and they'll soon send someone over to take that woman away. After all, she's obtained Supremacy Longjin's inheritance, and Supremacy Longjin was one of the commanders of Di Tian's Imperial Guards back then. Then what should we do? Wan Qianhao's expression changed. If Di Tian's Imperial Guards were here, then there would be no need for him to mess up the family. The clan head will think of a way to delay Di Tian's Imperial Guards for a day, so he sent me here to capture this woman as soon as possible and bring her back to the chaotic clan. I'm sorry, said Wan Fengyun. He then turned to look at Lu Ming with a cold smile on his face. If you get lost now, you'll live. If you delay, you'll die. Wan Fengyun, I'll definitely kill you one day. Lu Ming ignored Wan Fengyun's words. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. Wan Fengyun had almost killed Xian Yanqing. Based on this, Lu Ming had to kill him no matter who he was. Hehe, from the moment you said that, you no longer have a chance. I didn't want to fight and only take that woman away. But today I have to kill you, said Wan Fengyun coldly. He stood high up in the air, his fighting spirit growing stronger. The Wan family cultivated a divine-grade cultivation technique, the 100 battles technique, and were born to fight. Of course, his combat strength was also extremely powerful. Boom. Wan Fengyun's aura suddenly exploded. His essential core boiled and emitted the sound of stormy waves. His aura was like a divine mountain that pressed down on Lu Ming. The peak of the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier, this was the cultivation of Wan Fengyun. The peak of the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier was 2 levels higher than Lu Ming. However, Wan Fengyun was no ordinary martial artist. He was a quasi-god level prodigy, and his combat strength was already incomparably powerful. The essential core in Lu Ming's body circulated at full force. There was a faint blue light shining between his eyebrows. Aha, I didn't expect this place to be so lively. Add me in then. A loud laugh came from afar. As soon as the voice fell, a scorching aura covered the sky and earth. 2 streaks of flames, dragging a long tail behind them, pierced through the void and approached in an instant. 2 young figures appeared. Wang Haotian. Wan Fengyun's eyes flashed. At this moment, gasps of shock could be heard from the surroundings. The Wang clan's Heaven's Pride expert had also arrived. Moreover, he was also a quasi-god Heaven's Pride expert. Brother Luan, Supremacy Blue Gold's inheritance has appeared. Isn't it a little too much for your Luan family to want to keep it for yourself? Wang Haotian laughed. Do you think I have to inform your Wang family? Wan Fengyun said, his face dark. Wang Haotian's ranking on the list of top 1,000 talents was only a few places lower than his, but his combat strength was on par with his. It would not be easy for Wang Haotian to get a god-level cultivation method today. It's fine if you don't tell me. We'll rely on our own abilities. Wang Haotian smiled. Lu Ming's gaze swept past Wang Haotian and landed on the person behind him. Wang Kong. In Wang Kong's hand was a pale-faced man who was breathing weakly. Jian Filiu. The person in Wang Kong's hand was actually Jian Filiu. Brother Jian, what did you guys do to him? Lu Ming's eyes were like 2 sharp swords, piercing Wang Kong and Wang Haotian. Are you talking about this good-for-nothing? Wang Haotian smiled and looked at Jian Filiu with disdain. This brat has the audacity to have an affair with a woman of my Wang family. So I crippled him. Lu Ming's expression changed. No wonder Jian Filiu was so weak. It was because his cultivation had been destroyed. Damn it! Lu Ming shouted in a low voice. After this period of time, Lu Ming had already regarded Jian Filiu as a true friend. Now Jian Filiu's cultivation had been crippled by Wang Haotian. Lu Ming, don't worry about me. I'm a piece of trash. I can't even save my junior sister. They killed her. You're all animals, all animals. Junior sister is a married woman, and you still want to reward her to someone else, you animals. Jian Filiu's eyes were red as he growled. That Wang Mang fellow is already dead. Our Wang clan isn't going to raise him for nothing. Naturally, we have to make the best use of him. Wang Kong said indifferently, as if he was talking about a very normal thing. Lu Ming had more or less understood what was going on. It must be because Wang Mang was dead, and the Wang family wanted to reward Jian Filiu's junior sister to the other Wang family disciples to play with. Jian Filiu's junior sister must have sent a message to Jian Filiu asking for help, which was why Jian Filiu left in a hurry and came to 9 Dragons. After that, he was naturally discovered. Jianfiliu was right. The Wang clan was a group of beasts. Lu Ming, I heard that you're good friends with this good-for-nothing, so I brought him here. Hee, it seems that you've come at the right time. Wang Haoyin laughed. What do you want? Lu Ming said. It's very simple. Hand over the token you obtained from the Tower of 100 Supremes, and then hand over the woman who obtained Blue Gold Venerable's inheritance to me. Then I'll give this trash to you. Wang Haoyin still had a faint smile on his face. He has the token from the Tower of 100 Supremes. On the side, Luan Fingyun's eyes glowed with greed. He also needed the token of the Tower of 100 Supremes. I'll use the token to exchange with you, but it's impossible for you to hand over Tingting. Lu Ming said. If he handed Ruan Tingting over, they would definitely strip Ruan Tingting of her soul and turn her into an idiot. It was impossible for him to use one person to exchange for another. Chapter 792. 792 Chapter 792 Title Killing Intent. A single token? No, I'll make your friend suffer a fate worse than death. Wang Haoyin's eyes glinted coldly. Lu Ming, don't worry about me. My junior sister is dead and my cultivation has been crippled. I'm already a cripple. Don't worry about me. Jianfiliu shouted. Shut up. Wang Kong grabbed Jianfiliu's shoulder with his claw. A cracking sound came from Jianfiliu's shoulder as the bone armor was broken. However, Jianfiliu just gritted his teeth and didn't make a sound. Damn it, this group of scum, damn it. At the entrance of the cave, Kong Jin roared. Giggle. Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly. A wave of anger rushed to his mind and his eyes flashed with killing intent. Kong Jin was right. These people deserved to die. He could not wait to go out and kill them. But now he had to endure it. He had the injured Xian Yanqing and Ruan Tingting behind him. If he acted rashly, he would only end up killing everyone. When Luan Fengyun had first arrived, he had said that Di Tian's Imperial Guards would come here a day later. Perhaps, once they arrived, things would take a turn for the better. Just now, Luan Fengyun had not sent a voice transmission. Perhaps he had been too confident and felt that there was no need to hide anything. With him around, he could take Ruan Tingting away without even needing a day. However, Lu Ming had to think of a way to stall for one day. Lu Ming, I'll ask you again. Are you going to change or not? Wang Haoyin said. Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly, his eyes extremely cold. His voice was icy cold. Wang Haoyin, Wang Kong, if you dare to use Jianfiliu again, I will kill you. You dare to threaten me? Wang Haoyin's face turned cold. He suddenly turned around and pointed his finger. A stream of energy shot out and pierced a big hole in Jianfiliu's shoulder. Blood stained Jianfiliu's clothes. Boom. Lu Ming's body exploded with a violent aura and cold killing intent. No one noticed that Lu Ming's footsteps were moving slowly. With every step he took, an inscription would sink into the ground. You want to use me to threaten Lu Ming? In your dreams. In your dreams. At this moment, Jianfiliu suddenly roared. A faint red light spread out from his spine. Not good. Wang Kong's expression changed. Don't. Lu Ming roared. Bang. At this moment, Jianfiliu's spine suddenly exploded, and blood splattered everywhere. Jianfiliu had performed some kind of secret skill to self-destruct his bloodline power. This move was also beyond Wang Haoyin and Wang Kong's expectations. The self-destruction of one's bloodline power was equivalent to losing one's life. Jianfiliu spat out a mouthful of blood. He looked at Lu Ming and said, Brother Lu, it's my honor to be friends with you. However, my junior sister is dead and my cultivation has been destroyed. There's no point in me staying in this world. It's a pity that I won't be able to see the day when Brother Lu rules the world. As he spoke, Jianfiliu's vitality became weaker and weaker, and he slowly closed his eyes. Then his life force was exterminated. Jianfiliu, the proud son of heaven who had once dominated Golden Sand Island under the name of King of Hell and fought with Lu Ming, had fallen. Although he had not known Lu Ming for a long time, Jianfiliu was a man of true character and treated people with sincerity. Lu Ming had already treated him as a good friend. Now, in order not to threaten Lu Ming, Jianfiliu had self-destructed his blood meridian and died. Lu Ming's aura burst out violently, and his killing intent seemed to materialize. Brother Jian, don't worry. I'll definitely send Wang Haoyin and Wang Kong down to accompany you. I'll also send the rest of the Wang family down to hell sooner or later. He stared at Wang Haoyin and Wang Kong with cold and emotionless eyes. For some reason, Wang Haoyin and Wang Kong felt a chill in their hearts when they saw Lu Ming's eyes. It was as if the god of death was staring at them. Trash. Wang Kong took a deep breath and threw Jian Filiu's body on the ground. Hehe, Wang Haoyin, it looks like you've lost your bargaining chip. How about this? Let's attack together, kill these guys and take that woman. Wan Fengyun said with a cold smile. I alone am enough to kill them. Wang Haoyin said coldly, his eyes full of killing intent. Boom. Then he stepped forward. He had to kill Lu Ming today. He had a bad feeling. It was as if he would die in Lu Ming's hands sooner or later if Lu Ming did not die. This feeling was very unpleasant. Purple flames burst out of Wang Haoyin's body. The terrifying heat exploded and the air within a radius of dozens of meters was instantly burned up, turning into a vacuum. A long spear made of flames appeared in Wang Haoyin's hand. It turned into a ray of light and shot toward Lu Ming. The scorching flame was still dozens of meters away from Lu Ming, as if it was going to set his clothes and hair on fire. Kill? Lu Ming took a step forward. The true element in his entire body burst forth. At the same time, four types of intent surrounded him as he struck out with his palm. Thump. The blazing flames spread in all directions, and the earth rumbled and cracked. Lu Ming's figure retreated continuously. With every step he took, runes would flash and sink into the ground when his feet stepped on the ground. Oh. Lu Ming heaved a heavy sigh of relief, suppressing the surging qi and blood in his body. He felt a sharp pain in his palm. His palm had turned black from the scorching flames. Wang Haoyin's combat strength was terrifying. Wang Haoyin was also at the peak 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier. He had cultivated the sky-burning flames to an extremely deep level. Whoosh! Wang Haoyin pushed Lu Ming back with one strike. He waved the flame spear and continued to attack Lu Ming. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming stomped on the ground and his figure moved to the side rapidly. Do you think it's that easy to leave? Die. Two suns appeared in Wang Haoyin's eyes as he continued to attack Lu Ming. Thump. Lu Ming struck out with his palm again, clashing with Wang Haoyin. With a boom, he was pushed back a dozen more steps, blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. Lu Ming is so powerful. He took 2 moves from Wang Haoyin in a row. Many people in the surroundings were shocked. Wang Haoyin was a quasi-god level prodigy. He had unparalleled combat strength and could kill anyone with a higher cultivation level than him in seconds. However, Lu Ming's cultivation level was 2 levels lower than his, yet he was able to withstand a few moves. It was terrifying. On the side, Luan Fingyun's eyes flickered, and he was also extremely surprised. Wang Haoyin was shocked as well. This person must die. Otherwise, I might really be the one to die in the future. Wang Haoyin roared in his heart. His killing intent grew stronger. Flames appeared above his head. His bloodline erupted and his power grew. The flame spear turned into a terrifying killing weapon, burning the void and heading for Lu Ming. At this moment, Lu Ming's eyes flashed. Buzz. Inscriptions started to flash on his body. There were runes that could burst out with true essence, runes that could increase one's speed, runes that could increase one's defense. In an instant, Lu Ming inscribed 8 inscription arrays for himself. An inscription master. Wang Haoyin's eyes were filled with shock. Kill? Lu Ming shouted and took a step forward. In an instant, the ground glowed brightly and countless beautiful inscriptions appeared, forming a large inscription formation. Chapter 793. 793. There's still a chance. The inscription formation appeared. 2 swords formed and slashed at Wang Haoyin. At the same time, Lu Ming pounced on Wang Haoyin. A terrifying devouring power erupted from his left palm and enveloped Wang Haoyin. His right palm activated the destructive prison heaven art and struck out. With the addition of 8 inscription arrays, Lu Ming's combat strength had increased greatly. Wang Haoyin's eyes were filled with shock. With a long howl, the spear's radiance turned into an illusion and shattered the 2 combat swords. Then he stabbed at Lu Ming. Thump. This time the collision was even more shocking than the previous one. Wang Haoyin was forced to retreat. Yes, this time it was Wang Haoyin who retreated. Gasps could be heard from all around. Lu Ming had actually repelled Wang Haoyin. It was unbelievable. Wang Haoyin took 6 steps back and stood still. He was in disbelief and roared, When did you inscribe the inscription formation? He had never expected that not only was Lu Ming's martial arts cultivation extremely high, but his inscription Dao was also so terrifying. Kill? Lu Ming's cold killing intent was the only response he got. He continued to step forward. Runes appeared on the ground and condensed into a combat sword, which was aimed at Wang Haotian. At the same time he charged toward Wang Haotian. Wang Haotian roared and almost turned into a man on fire. His spear was thrown forward and collided with Lu Ming's. But the result was that Wang Haotian kept retreating. Lu Ming cast 8 formations on himself. At the same time he used the inscription formation and the devouring power of the 9 dragons' bloodline. He had completely suppressed Wang Haotian. Not far away, Luan Fingyun's expression was extremely unsightly. Just now he was still high and mighty, thinking that he could suppress Lu Ming at any time and take Yuan Tingting away. Now the truth told him that he was ridiculously wrong. Wang Haotian's combat ability was definitely not weaker than his. If Wang Haotian was suppressed, did that mean that he would be suppressed as well? This was hard for him to accept. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming stomped on the ground and a formation appeared. 8 swords were formed and they slashed at Wang Haotian. At the same time he attacked Wang Haotian with all his might. Wang Haotian was in danger. Ah! Wang Haotian let out a long roar. The long spear pierced through the sky. He turned into a beam of light and shot up into the sky, breaking through the attack of the inscription formation and rushing into the sky. Wang Haotian retreated in defeat. He rushed into the air to avoid Lu Ming's attack. Lu Ming could not inscribe inscription arrays in the void yet. Damn it! Wang Haotian's eyes were filled with killing intent. He could not wait to crush Lu Ming's bones and scatter his ashes. He was actually forced to retreat by Lu Ming and could only run for his life. Under the watchful eyes of the public, this was simply a great humiliation. The key was that Lu Ming's martial arts cultivation was 2 levels lower than his. Wang Haotian rushed into the sky, but Lu Ming had no intention of stopping. He suddenly changed direction and stomped on the ground. Runes appeared and condensed into a long spear, which shot toward Wang Kong like lightning. At the same time, Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared in front of Wang Kong in an instant. He struck out with his palm. What? Wang Kong was shocked. Everything had happened too quickly. Wang Haotian fled while Lu Ming turned around to attack him. He did not expect this to happen so quickly. He roared in fear and used all his strength to resist. Bang! The long spear condensed by the formation was sent flying by Wang Kong. However, in the next moment Lu Ming arrived. The terrifying devouring power enveloped Wang Kong, causing his blood flow to be disrupted and his combat strength to be weakened. At the same time, Lu Ming's palm was coming for him. Bang! All of Wang Kong's defenses were shattered by Lu Ming's palm. Lu Ming's palm landed heavily on Wang Kong's chest. Wang Kong's eyes popped out of their sockets. His eyes were filled with disbelief and unwillingness. No! A shrill scream came out of Wang Kong's mouth, and the next moment his body was torn into pieces. Lu Ming took another step and his essential core rolled up, wrapping around Jian Filiu's body. In a flash he appeared at the entrance of the cave. All of this happened in the time it took for a spark to fly off a flint. It was too fast. Wang Haotian fled and rushed into the sky. Lu Ming changed his direction and charged toward Wang Kong. He took Jian Filiu and appeared at the entrance of the cave. Everything happened in the span of 1 or 2 breaths. Many people didn't even have time to react. When Lu Ming appeared at the entrance of the cave, the crowd finally reacted and gasped. Wang Kong had been killed. He had been killed instantly. Was this Lu Ming's combat strength? It was too terrifying to use all of his combat strength. A heaven's favorite like Wang Kong was completely unable to resist. This kid isn't completely dead yet. Dandan, who was on Lu Ming's shoulder, suddenly spoke. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. His eyes were shining as he said, Dandan, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by not completely dead? On the surface this brat looks like he's dead. In fact, he still has a chance of survival. His cultivation was crippled and he used a method to self-destruct his bloodline power. However, he still doesn't have cultivation and can't fully control his bloodline power. Therefore he still has some chance of survival. As long as his bloodline power is restored, maybe he can be revived? Dandan explained. Really? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. That's right. Now I'll inscribe an inscription formation to lock this kid's chance of survival. The rest will be up to you. After saying that, he flew into the cave with his sword and began to inscribe the formation. When he spoke to Dandan, it was all through voice transmission, so the others did not hear it. Damn it, Lu Ming. How dare you kill the Wang family's prodigy? You're dead. Wang Haoyin roared in the sky. If you have the ability, come down and fight me. Lu Ming glanced at Wang Haoyin with disdain. You. Wang Haoyin's face turned pale, then ashen. He didn't dare to go down. Wang Haoyin, let's work together. It's more important to get Supremacy Longjin's inheritance. In less than a day the Detian royal guards will be here. Wan Fengyun said. Alright, let's join forces. Wang Haoyin nodded. Everyone attack together and kill this man. Wan Fengyun waved his hand. Let's attack together. Jiang Taiyu also roared. At this moment, Lu Ming's hands moved rapidly and countless inscriptions sank into the ground. Attack! Don't give him time to inscribe inscriptions and erase. Wang Haoyin roared and took the lead to attack Lu Ming. At the same time Wan Fengyun moved as well. A large bow appeared in his hands. He drew the bow and knocked an arrow which he shot at Lu Ming. The arrow was like a stream of light, piercing through the void and making a terrifying sonic boom. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming stomped on the ground and arrays appeared one after another. There were offensive and defensive arrays. A few ancient shields appeared in front of Lu Ming, but they were easily pierced through and shot straight at the area between Lu Ming's eyebrows. The infinite dragon spear appeared and stabbed forward, colliding with the arrow. Lu Ming felt his arm go numb and he took 3 steps back. The attack power of chaotic wind cloud's arrows was too strong. At the same time Wang Haoyin arrived. Lu Ming kicked out and activated the prison-suppressing heaven technique, exchanging blows with Wang Haoyin. Chapter 794. 794 Fighting the 8 Great Heavens Favorites. Having just blocked Wan Fengyun's arrow, Lu Ming could not use his full strength. This move could only tie with Wang Haoyin. The two of them trembled and took a step back. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this moment Wan Fengyun's arrows arrived again. This time he shot out 7 arrows in a row and the power was terrifying. At the same time Jiang Taiyu, Wan Tianhao, and the others had also arrived. The Jiang family, the Wan family, and Wang Haoyin, a total of 8 geniuses, plus a dozen 5th-level spiritual ocean tier experts all charged at Lu Ming. Lu Ming, let me help you. Kong Jin roared. Fatty, guard the entrance of the cave, don't come out. Lu Ming roared. The cave was filled with injured people. If the fatty came out and the others entered, the consequences would be unimaginable. Ah! Fatty roared. His heart was filled with anger, but he also understood that he could only wait. At this moment, Lu Ming waved his hand and a few huge creatures appeared in front of him. There were 2 giant snake puppets and a cheetah puppet. The 3 puppets were all equivalent to the 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier. In the underground world, after annihilating the Yin snake tribe, they had seized a large number of puppets. Lu Ming asked Qi Jin Kong for some puppets to bring along in case he needed them. He could finally use it now. The 2 giant snake puppets charged at Jiang Taiyu and the others fearlessly. Puppets were impervious to weapons and possessed immense strength. They were the best defensive tools. The cheetah puppet, on the other hand, soared into the sky and charged towards the arrows shot out by Wan Fengyun. Thump! Thump! A series of explosions rang out. It was equivalent to the cheetah puppet at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier being hit by 7 arrows, and it exploded. This was also the reason why Lu Ming's mental energy fire was so huge. An ordinary inscriber would have to use almost all of their strength to control a puppet of the same level, but Lu Ming was perfect at every stage and had lit 10 mental energy lamps. How vast was his mental energy fire? Not only could he control puppets above his level, but he could also control several at the same time. Bang! Lu Ming, on the other hand, exerted all his strength and sent Wang Haoyin flying with a single palm. Taking this opportunity, Lu Ming's hands danced wildly once again, and inscriptions were buried into the ground. Kill? High in the sky, Wan Fengyun bellowed, his killing intent surging like a tide as arrows rained down. Lu Ming waved his hand and another puppet appeared. It flew into the sky and exploded under the arrows. He, on the other hand, made the best use of his time to inscribe inscriptions. On the other side, the 2 giant snake puppets exploded under the attacks of Jiang Taiyu and the rest. However, Lu Ming waved his hand and a few more puppets appeared, charging towards Jiang Taiyu and the rest. At this moment Wang Haoyan arrived. The more they fought, the more shocked Wang Haoyan was. His desire to kill Lu Ming grew stronger. Lu Ming had no choice but to stop inscribing inscriptions and fight with Wang Haoyan. The true essence explosion inscription he had inscribed on his body couldn't last for long. If the effect of the inscription array wore off, he would be even more passive. Whoosh, whoosh. Another arrow was shot down from the sky. This time the arrow curved and dodged the puppet, aiming for Lu Ming. You want to stop me with a mere puppet? In your dreams. Wan Fengyun's eyes were like lightning. Lu Ming used all his strength, but the combination of Wan Fengyun and Wang Haoyan was too powerful. Lu Ming was forced to retreat. What he feared the most were Wan Fengyun's arrows. They were impossible to guard against and had terrifying offensive power. They could take lives from 100 miles away. If it had only been Wan Fengyun, he would naturally have been able to avoid him, draw closer to him and defeat him. However, there was another Wang Haoyan. In Lu Ming's current state, even with the help of the inscription formation, he could barely suppress Wang Haoyan. He could not completely suppress Wang Haoyan and was in a passive position. Lu Ming, let me help you. Kong Jin bellowed. He stood at the entrance of the cave and the battle axe in his hand flew out. It danced in the air and helped Lu Ming block Wan Fengyun's arrows. Clang, clang. The battle axe blocked a few arrows from Wan Fengyun and flew back. Then, Fatty threw the battle axe again. This time it was aimed at Wang Haoyan. Wang Haoyan's punch sent the axe flying. Buzz. At this time, a powerful force field covered a radius of several hundred meters. Xian Yanqing was also standing at the entrance of the cave behind Fatty. Although Xian Yanqing's face was still a little pale, his injuries had basically stabilized. Destruction cut. In Xian Yanqing's Sky Demon force field, Wan Fengyun's arrows were blocked by layers of obstacles. Their power was greatly reduced and it was much easier to defend. Jiang Taiyu and the rest were also suppressed by the demonic force field. Lu Ming's pressure was reduced. Lu Ming, I'm here to help you. Dandan flew out and stood on Lu Ming's shoulder. How is it, Brother Jian? Lu Ming asked. I've temporarily sealed their vitality with an inscription formation. The rest is up to you. Dandan said. After saying that, Dandan retracted her limbs into the turtle shell and flew forward. An arrow hit Dandan's turtle shell and sparks flew, but the arrow was also knocked off course by Dandan. Dandan flew back to Lu Ming's shoulder and shouted, You want to shoot through this lord's invincible defense? Little brat, you're still 108,000 miles away. The killing intent in Wan Fengyun's eyes intensified. He shot out 9 arrows one after another, one after the other. They connected and formed a straight line, instantly crossing thousands of meters in the air. They pierced through the obstruction of the demonic energy field and headed toward Lu Ming. Watch me. Dandan flew out and used the turtle shell to block the arrow. Clang. Dandan was shot away, but the continuous arrows were deflected. With a scream, a youth at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean realm from the Wan family was shot through by an arrow and died on the spot. Haha, like I said, you're far from being able to break my defense, little kid. Dandan shouted. Lu Ming exchanged a blow with Wang Haoyan and continued to inscribe inscriptions. At this moment, Jiang Taiyu and the others had already rushed over. Lu Ming had already lost more than 10 powerful puppets. Now Lu Ming no longer had any puppets. Bang, bang. Lu Ming took a few steps forward and a formation appeared. It formed sabers, giant swords, long spears and so on, attacking Jiang Taiyu and the others. Lu Ming continued to inscribe the array. Just like that, Lu Ming, Fatty, and Xian Yanqing worked together to carve inscriptions as they fought. It lasted for more than 10 minutes. It's done. Lu Ming waved his hands and the last inscription sank into the ground. Lu Ming was elated. Bang. As Lu Ming took a heavy step, dense inscriptions appeared on the ground. Then a light curtain rose and enveloped Lu Ming and the others. In the light curtain, endless sword chi condensed and attacked Jiang Taiyu and the others. Not good. This is a peak grade level 6 killing array. Jiang Taiyu and the others roared in horror and retreated frantically. Whoosh, whoosh. Within the formation, sword chi crisscrossed, and in an instant, a few 5th level spiritual ocean tier youths were killed. Jiang Taiyu, Luan Tianhao, and the others desperately rushed out of the area covered by the formation. In the sky, chaotic wind and cloud shot out arrows continuously, but they were all destroyed by the dense sword chi in the formation. It was a top-tier level 6 formation, the Sword Howling Thunder formation. Chapter 795. 795 God-tier Heaven's favorite, Long Qianli. He learned this killing formation from Lian Cong. In fact, the formation that Lu Ming had set up was not the complete version of the Sword Whistling Thunder formation. The complete version of the Sword Howling Thunder formation was a peak grade level 6 formation. Even experts at the peak of the Spirit Sea realm would die if they stepped in. It was extremely powerful. Lu Ming had spent more than 10 minutes in the battle to set it up in a hurry. Naturally, it could not be that powerful, but it was enough to deal with Wang Haotian and the rest. Wang Haotian, Jiang Taiyu, and the others tried their best to rush out of the formation, leaving 5 or 6 corpses in the formation. Damn it! Wang Haotian roared in anger. Not only did he not get the token he wanted, but Wang Kong was also left behind. If news of this got back to the Wang family, it would be a heavy blow to his reputation. This formation of his was set up at the last minute, so its power is limited. As long as we keep attacking, we'll be able to exhaust the energy of this great formation, and then we'll kill our way in. Wan Fengyun said with a dark expression. Alright, we'll take turns to attack. Wang Haotian said. Immediately they made the necessary arrangements. Wan Fengyun was the first to attack. Arrows streaked across the sky like meteors and shot toward the formation below. However, sword chi whistled through the formation and blocked all the arrows. Little Qing, Fatty, you guys focus on recuperating. They won't be able to break in. Lu Ming said as he sat cross-legged at the entrance of the cave. His psyche fire was so strong that he could continuously inscribe new inscriptions and inject them into the formation. The attacks of Luan Fengyun and the others were simply unable to break through it. Xian Yinqing, Kong Jin, Ruan Tingting, and the others let out a long breath and relaxed. They began to channel their energy to heal and recover. Lu Ming looked at Jian Filiu, who was in the cave, with a worried look. If Jian Filiu wanted to recover, he needed a treasure to replenish his bloodline power. He could only wait until the matter here was over before looking for a treasure to replenish his bloodline power. Fortunately, it should not be difficult to find treasures that could replenish bloodline power. Back in the Blazing Sun Empire, there were blood refinement crystals and blood refinement pills that could replenish bloodline power and increase the level of the second bloodline awakening. 9 dragons would naturally have no shortage of such treasures. However, it was a little inconvenient to carry Jian Filiu like this. I wonder if I can store it in the Paragon Temple. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. A surge of quintessential essence rolled out and Jian Filiu's figure disappeared. As expected, Jian Filiu appeared in the Supreme Shrine. That's great. Lu Ming was overjoyed. It must be because there was no vitality in Jian Filiu's body that he could be stored. In the sky, Luan Fengyun kept attacking. After half an hour, it was Wang Haotian's turn. Just like that, time slowly passed. 1 hour, 2 hours. Very quickly, a day's time had passed. Not only did Luan Fengyun and the others fail to break through the Sword Howling Thunder formation, but they also exhausted them slaviers. Damn it, how did this happen? How can his spirit fire be so exuberant? Wang Haotian roared in anger. He was so depressed that he was about to vomit blood. The others' eyes were also red as they glared at Lu Ming, who was sitting cross-legged at the entrance of the cave. Little Qing, Fatty, how's your recovery? Lu Ming asked. I've fully recovered and I can fight a great battle now. The fatty grinned, revealing a trace of ferocity. I've almost recovered, Xian Yinqing said. Then let's charge out, Lu Ming said. In terms of combat power, they were no match for Luan Fengyun and Wang Haotian. They could only rush out first, improve their cultivation and then kill them in the future. Bus. And NBSP whoosh. At this moment, a loud sound of something breaking through the air could be heard from afar. It was extremely fast, and by the time everyone heard it, more than a dozen figures had already appeared in the sky. These people were all young people. Each of them was wearing armor and a helmet, and their eyes were as sharp as knives. The one standing at the front was a young man with a fierce gaze, like a wild beast. Di Tian's Imperial Guard, Long Qianli. Luan Fengyun couldn't help but cry out in alarm. The others, such as Wang Haotian and Jiang Taiyu, also exclaimed in shock. The surrounding spectators were even more shocked. They were not only shocked by the Detian divine guards, but also by the young man Long Qianli. Long Qianli was ranked in the top 300 on the list of top 1,000 talents. He was a true god-level talent who had awakened a god-level bloodline. Wan Fengyan, how dare you? Supremacy Longjin was the commander of Emperor Heaven's Imperial Guards back then. You want to take his successor? Long Qianli's eyes swept over Wan Fengyun and the others. Long Qianli, Blue Gold Knight, has been dead for a long time. His inheritance has no owner. Why can't we take it? Wan Fengyun said. Now that I've arrived, you can get lost. Venerable Longjin's inheritor, we're going to bring back Detian's Imperial Guards and train them to become Venerable Longjin's true inheritor. Long Qianli said coldly. He was not polite at all, not giving any face to Wan Fengyun and the others. The main forces of the Empyrean Divine Palace were divided into three major groups. The first group was the Empyrean Heavenly Imperial Guards, which were the direct guards of De and Martial Emperor. They were extremely powerful. One was the 6 great ancient families. There were also the sub-palaces in the various large regions. In fact, these three forces all obeyed Martial Emperor De and fought for him. However, they were not harmonious with each other. The majority of the Emperor Heaven Imperial Guards didn't come from noble backgrounds. Very few of them were descendants of the 6 great ancient clans. The majority of them were geniuses like Yan Kuangtu who came from small powers. They would continuously take in geniuses and nurture them to become the pillars of Detian's Imperial Guards. Back then, the 9 Sons Supreme had been one of the supreme commanders of the Detian Royal Guards. Now, Yan Kuangtu was also one of the supreme commanders. Therefore, the geniuses of the Imperial Sky Guards had never had a harmonious relationship with the geniuses of the 6 great ancient clans, and competition between them was common. After being berated by Long Qianli, Wan Fengyun's expression turned ugly. Long Qianli, don't you go too far. Wan Fengyun sternly said. I'm bullying you, what can you do? Do you want to fight me? The ferocity in Long Qianli's eyes became even more intense, as if he was a ferocious beast that was about to attack. Today, besides me, Heavenly Brother Wang Hao and the other elites of the Jiang family are here too. We're not afraid of you. Wan Fengyun said coldly, a powerful aura exuding from his body. Wang Haoyin appeared next to Wan Fengyun, and his aura began to emanate from his body. Looks like you all want to experience the power of a divine rank bloodline. Long Qianli's face turned even more ferocious and he sneered. Roar. All of a sudden, a dragon's roar resounded through the heavens and earth. A flood dragon rushed out from Long Qianli's body. The flood dragon was pitch black all over, and the most shocking thing was that it actually had 3 heads. This was a ferocious beast of the legends, the 3-headed demon flood dragon. It was incomparably powerful. It was said that the 3-headed demon flood dragon could even compete with some weaker true dragons. One could imagine how terrifying it was. On the 3-headed demon snake's body, a golden chakra attracted everyone's attention. The golden chakra was a god-level bloodline. A golden chakra was equivalent to a rank 1 divine bloodline. Chapter 796. 796 Leaving the 100 Venerated Mountains. A 9th-level king bloodline seemed to be only 1 level away from a 1st-level divine bloodline, but in essence they were worlds apart. There was no way to compare them. Those who had not awakened a divine bloodline would have limited future achievements. Only those who had awakened a divine bloodline could be considered a divine-level prodigy, and their future achievements would be limitless. The top 300 on the list of top 1,000 talents were all geniuses who had awakened divine bloodlines. Is this a divine bloodline? Lu Ming's eyes flashed with anticipation. At this moment, Long Qianli's body seemed to have turned into a ray of light and rushed into his blood. Kill? The 3-headed demon flood dragon actually opened its mouth, and its voice was exactly the same as Long Qianli's. It was as if the 3-headed demon flood dragon had come to life, and had transformed into a real 3-headed demon flood dragon. Bloodline fusion. It was said that those who had awakened a divine bloodline could perform bloodline fusion. Their bodies would merge with the bloodline and transform into the form of the bloodline, erupting with terrifying combat power. The 3-headed demon flood dragon's massive claws swiped toward Wan Fengyun and the others. Let's join hands, let's join hands. Wan Fengyun roared. His eyes were filled with shock as a powerful aura burst forth from his body. He drew his bow and instantly shot out 9 arrows. They formed a line and shot towards the 3-headed demon flood dragon. At the same time Wang Haoyin, Jiang Taiyu, and the rest also made their moves. They burst out together and attacked the 3-headed demon snake one after another. Clang. First, the 9 arrows were slapped away by the 3-headed demon flood dragon's claw. The huge claw continued to strike forward. Bang. Bang. Luan Fengyun, Wang Haoyin, and the others were all sent flying like cannonballs, spitting out mouthfuls of blood. With just one move Luan Fengyun and the others were all injured. They looked at Long Qianli in shock. You want to fight with me? You're overestimating yourself. The 3-headed demon flood dragon spoke in the human language before rapidly shrinking. In the next moment, it had returned to Long Qianli's appearance and was looking at Luan Fengyun and the others with a ferocious expression. Crushing, completely crushing. The surrounding spectators were all extremely shocked. Is this the power of a divine bloodline? The fusion of bloodlines is indeed powerful. Lu Ming's eyes glimmered. Long Qianli's cultivation should be at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier. Although he was higher than Luan Fengyun and the others, it was difficult for ordinary heaven's favorites to completely suppress him. However, Long Qianli completely suppressed him. Moreover, no one knew how much strength he had used just now. As one's cultivation level increased, the power of the bloodline fusion would become even stronger. Do you all still want to continue fighting? Long Qianli's gaze swept across Luan Fengyun and the others, causing their expressions to change. Long Qianli, the god-grade geniuses of our 3 families aren't here today. Otherwise, we wouldn't be afraid of you. Luan Fengyun said through gritted teeth. Nonsense. Now get lost. Long Qianli said. Long Qianli, you can take away Lan Jin's inheritor, but the others are ours. Wang Haoyin said. He still had not given up on the token on Lu Ming. Long Qianli frowned. He swept his gaze across Lu Ming and the rest before finally landing on Ruan Tingting. He said, You're Blue Gold Knight's inheritor, right? Come with us. No. Lu Ming took a step forward and his voice was clear. No. You want to stop me? Long Qianli's eyes turned cold. She's my friend. If you want to take her away and extract the inheritance from her soul, you'll have to get through me first. Lu Ming's gaze was extremely determined. Ha ha ha. Unexpectedly, Long Qianli burst into laughter and said, So that's what you're worried about. You don't have to worry about that. Do you think we're as disgusting as the 6 great ancient families? We'll bring her back, but we won't strip her of her inheritance. Instead, we'll nurture her and let her grow. Oh, how can I trust you? Lu Ming said. This point is very simple. In history, this young lady wasn't the only one who obtained the inheritance of an expert. In the end, those who joined the Emperor Heaven Imperial Guards were all nurtured and some even became supreme experts. No one was deprived of the inheritance. Who doesn't know about this? Long Qianli said. Lu Ming, I'll go with them. Di Tian's Imperial Guards have indeed never deprived others of their inheritance before, Ruan Tingting said as she walked out of the cave. Ruan Tingting knew very well that the best path for her now was to go to the Di Tian Royal Guards. If she did not go, the 6 great ancient families would not give up and she would implicate Lu Ming and the rest. Lu Ming and the rest were very clear about this. Young Master Long, I can go with you, but I have a condition. Ruan Tingting said. What condition? Long Qianli said. I want them to leave this place with me. I'll let you all leave after we leave the 100 venerated mountains. Ruan Tingting pointed at Lu Ming and the rest. No, they must stay. Wang Haoyin shouted. Is it your turn to speak? Long Qianli's eyes darkened. He looked at Wang Haoyin who turned pale. The few of you have protected your friends to the end and fought against powerful enemies. I admire geniuses and heroes with true personalities the most. Even if you didn't say anything, I would have done it. All right, let's go out together. Long Qianli shouted. Lu Ming, let's leave this place together, he said. Ruan Tingting looked at Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing and the rest. All right. Lu Ming nodded. For now, it was better to leave this place first and then improve his cultivation. Lu Ming waved his hand and the sword-whistling thunder formation disappeared. Let's go. Long Qianli took the lead and Lu Ming and the rest followed him as they flew outside. Damn it. Wang Haoyin roared, his eyes flashing with cold killing intent. Humph, informed the family. We can't let these people off so easily. Luan Fengyun also said coldly. They sent the news to their families. Lu Ming and the rest left the 100 Venoms Mountain very quickly and flew to the west. The Wang family's dragon vein was at the easternmost end, while the Dition Imperial Guards were at the center of 9 dragons. They were at least 10 million miles away from here. After flying for a few 100,000 miles, they stopped. Tingting, we won't send you off. Take care. Kong Jin said reluctantly. Yeah, you guys too. I'll go back to find you guys when I'm successful in my cultivation. Wan Tingting said. Tingting, goodbye. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing also bade farewell to Wan Tingting. Lu Ming cupped his fists at Long Qianli and said, Brother Long, Lu Ming has something to ask. Is there any place in 9 dragons that can replenish his blood essence? The blood pool is the most suitable place to replenish the power of the bloodline. It is a high-level cultivation holy land. You can accumulate the power of the bloodline in there and it will be of great help to awaken the 3rd bloodline. However, you need a token to enter. Long Qianli said. Blood pool. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Lu Ming, this jade talisman is for you. It has records of some of the cultivation sanctuaries in 9 dragons. There are ordinary ones and high-level ones. However, only those who are qualified can enter the high-level cultivation sanctuaries. You can take a look. Long Qianli threw a jade talisman to Lu Ming. Chapter 797. 797 Setting up an array and fishing. Thank you very much. Lu Ming took it and said. No need to be polite, let's go. Long Qianli smiled and left with the Imperial Guards and Wan Tingting. Fatty, stop looking. He's gone far. Lu Ming patted Kong Jin's shoulder when he saw that he was still staring in the direction where Wan Tingting had left. I didn't expect that you, Fatty, would be so loyal. Xian Yanqing pouted. Of course, don't you know who I am? A lamb leg had appeared in Kong Jin's hand, and he began to gnaw on it. Didn't you want me to introduce Shao Qing's sister to you? Lu Ming whispered to the fatty. Fatty's body immediately straightened, and his eyes shone brightly. Of course I have to introduce her. Tingting is Tingting, but Miss Shao Qing's sister is her sister. They're different. Shameless. The two of them are shameless jackals of the same tribe. Xian Yanqing chided and glared at Lu Ming. Fatty chuckled and asked while gnawing on the leg of lamb, Lu Ming, where are we going now? I definitely can't go to the 100 venerated mountains. Let's go to the blood pool first and save Brother Jian. Little Qing, Fatty, you guys didn't take part in the Tower of 100 Talents assessment, did you? Lu Ming said. The Tower of 100 Supremes. Xian Yanqing and Fatty were both confused. If you pass the test of the Tower of 100 Supremes, you will be able to obtain a token that will lead you to a higher cultivation holy land. With your talents, it will not be a problem for you to pass the test. We will return to the 100 Supremes mountain first. After you have obtained the token, we will go to the blood pool together. Lu Ming said. Not only could the blood pool heal Jian Filiu, but they could also accumulate the power of their bloodline in preparation for awakening a 3rd bloodline. Go back to the 100 venerated mountains? Do you want to go back in disguise? Xian Yanqing said. Lu Ming nodded. Lu Ming, you guys should stop chatting. You're in danger. Dandan suddenly said. The few of them were shocked. Dandan, what's going on? Lu Ming asked. As soon as you left the 100 venerated mountains, you were targeted. I guess it won't be long before some experts come to kill you. Dandan said. Lu Ming frowned. Dandan's senses were very strong. You should be right. Who was that? They had been targeted as soon as they left the 100 venerated mountains. Could it be that they were from the Wang clan or the Wan clan? Let's go. Lu Ming said. Then they flew toward a vast mountain. Not long after, they landed in a valley. Lu Ming began to inscribe runes in the valley. The runes sank into the ground one after another. A few minutes later, a light screen flashed and enveloped them inside. Following that, Lu Ming inscribed an array that concealed their auras for himself, Xian Yanqing, and Fatty to completely conceal their auras. This is an illusory formation. From the outside we can't be seen at all. We can only see a pile of rubble. I'd like to see who wants to deal with us. Lu Ming said coldly. Not long after, there was a whistling sound and at least a dozen figures flew over. These people were dressed in black robes and looked rather old. They were definitely not young. They stopped above the valley and looked around. They should be coming this way. What's going on? This time we can't let them get away. They have to die for killing our Shangguan clan's chosen warrior. Also, the elders have instructed us to do it discreetly. We can't let anyone find out. We'll do it secretly. An old voice filled with cold killing intent could be heard. After that, the dozen of them split into several groups and chased in different directions. So, it's the Shangguan family. There was a flash of killing intent in Lu Ming's eyes. After beating up the young, the old would come and assassinate them in the dark. This was the style of the great aristocratic families. They were really despicable and shameless. Lu Ming, what are you going to do? Xian Yanqing looked at Lu Ming. Since they're coming, I'll take them all out at once. I'm short of spiritual crystals anyway. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. Haha, that's what I like. Kong Jin laughed. Lu Ming immediately started to inscribe a large inscription formation on the spot. At first, he inscribed a few illusionary formations that covered the entire valley. Then he began to inscribe killing formations. This time, Lu Ming spent a day to inscribe Tulavir level 6 formations in the valley. Among them, the sword whistling thunder formation was the main one. With the current strength of my mental energy fire, I'm still unable to completely inscribe the sword howling thunder formation. However, those people from the Shangguan clan have the highest cultivation, which should be at the 7th level of the spiritual ocean realm. It's enough to kill a 7th level spiritual ocean realm expert. Lu Ming had many thoughts in his mind. Let's get them to come over now. Lu Ming smiled. Lu Ming dispelled the array that concealed their aura and the illusory array that enveloped them. The three of them were instantly exposed in the valley. After that, the three of them sat down cross-legged in the valley and began to cultivate. Powerful auras burst out without any concealment. Tens of thousands of miles away, a few black-robed men were flying. What's going on? We've been searching for so long, but we still haven't found those little brats. Where did they go? Could it be that they've already left this place? Someone growled. Hold your horses. According to the aura detected by the formation plate, they should be in this area. Let's continue our search. The leader of the group said in an old voice. At this moment, the leading old man suddenly stopped. There's a reaction. The old man was holding an array disc in his hand. At this moment, there was a spot glowing on the array disc. Gather the others. The leading old man said. Soon, more than a dozen people gathered from all directions. They flew in the direction of Lu Ming and the others at top speed. Not long after, they appeared above the valley where Lu Ming and the others were. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin suddenly opened their eyes. They seemed to be surprised and stood up one after another. Everyone, what's the matter? Lu Ming asked insincerely. I'm here to kill you. The old man in the lead said. Kill us? Who are you people? Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin also pretended that their expressions had changed. Hehe, you don't have to ask about this. Go to hell and find out. You guys go and kill them. The old man waved his hand and the three black-robed men charged down. Their auras exploded and they launched a frenzied attack on Lu Ming and the other two. However, the three of them didn't activate their bloodlines as if they didn't want to expose their identities. The three of them were all at the 6th level of the spiritual ocean tier, and their combat strength was extremely terrifying. That old man is really cautious. Lu Ming had a thought. It was obvious that the old man in the lead had sent out 3 people to test the waters. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin stood together. They did not seek to achieve any merits, but they did not want to make any mistakes. They resisted with all their might. Now was not the time to activate the big array. What Lu Ming wanted was to wipe them all out. With the 3 of them working together and cooperating with each other, 3 experts at the 6th level of the spiritual ocean tier couldn't break through their defense at all. The 6 of them were locked in a battle. Chapter 798. 798 Chapter 798 Advancing to Divine Bloodline. In the blink of an eye, more than 100 moves had been exchanged, and it was still difficult to determine the winner. These 3 little bastards are really strong. They must be killed. The old man in the lead revealed a shocked expression. Lu Ming and the other 2 were all at the 2nd level of the spiritual ocean tier, but when the 3 of them joined forces, their coordination was seamless. They were actually able to fight against 3 experts at the 6th level of the spiritual ocean tier, which was truly shocking. There shouldn't be any problems. Let's attack together and end the battle quickly. After a long time, we might attract other people's attention. The old man in the lead spoke. The battle had caused a huge commotion. If any other powerful cultivators passed by and their identities were exposed, the Shangguan family would have a hard time explaining themselves to the outside world. At this time, if the younger generation was defeated and the older generation was sent to assassinate them, then the geniuses from the other regions would not dare to come to Nine Dragons to compete with the geniuses. If they accidentally hit the geniuses of the big families, and the older generation was sent to assassinate them, then who would dare to come? Kill? Kill? The others shouted coldly and charged into the valley together. The powerful aura and cold killing intent sent chills down Lu Ming's spine. There were at least 5 experts at the 7th level of the spiritual ocean tier, and their battle prowess completely crushed them. Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. He shouted, "Charge! Charge out!" They tried their best to charge out, but the 3 6th level spiritual ocean tier experts blocked them with all their might. In the next moment, more than a dozen black-robed men all landed in the valley. "3 little brats, I'll send you on your way. In your next life, remember to keep a low profile. There are some people you can't offend." The leading old man said. Is that so? In my eyes, the Shangguan family is nothing." Lu Ming sneered. The old man's expression changed drastically as he said, They know about us? I've been waiting for you. Now let me send you on your way." Lu Ming sneered and took a step forward. Buzz. Instantly the entire valley shone brightly. Inscriptions of various colors appeared on the ground and walls. They were dazzling. "Not good, we've been tricked. Retreat." The old man shouted. "It's too late, kill." Lu Ming shouted coldly. Endless sword chi condensed and shot toward the elder and the rest. Lu Ming had spent a few hours on this sword aura thunderous array. Although it could not unleash its full power, it was still much more powerful than the one he had hastily carved at the 100 venerated mountains. Moreover, there were 11 other formations to assist him. The vines rushed out and wrapped around the Shangguan clan's men. Then, sword chi, saber chi and spear light all shot toward them. Puchi. Puchi. 10 experts at the 6th level of the spiritual ocean tier were killed in an instant. Only 5 experts at the 7th level of the spiritual ocean tier were still struggling to hold on. They wanted to break out of the encirclement, but they couldn't charge out at all. All sorts of great formations covered them. The Tullivier major arrays that Lu Ming set up were not just for attacking. They were also for trapping enemies. Very quickly, the 5-man mountain was covered in blood as it was cut by the sword chi. "The Shangguan family will never let you off." The old man in the lead let out an unwilling roar. However, not long after, they followed in the footsteps of their predecessors and were killed here. 15 experts at the 6th level of the spiritual ocean tier and above were completely annihilated. "These people have a lot of top-grade spiritual crystals. Let's find a place to cultivate," Lu Ming said. He grabbed the storage rings of the 15 people and devoured their blood essence. The blood essence of these 15 people was too strong. He had a feeling that he couldn't control it, and he urgently needed to find a place to cultivate. Lu Ming waved his hand and flames appeared, burning the 15 corpses into ashes. Then the 3 of them left the place and flew into the distance. After 200,000 miles, they found a hidden cave and walked in. "Take a look at these storage rings. I'm going to start cultivating." With that, Lu Ming sat down cross-legged and focused on refining the blood essence. Previously, in the great battle with the Wang, Jiang and Luan families at the 100 venerated mountain, he had killed 6 experts at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier and refined their blood essence. Lu Ming could feel that the prison-suppressing steel bloodline was getting closer and closer to advancing. It was as if he could already see the level of the divine bloodline. While Lu Ming was refining the blood essence with all his might, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin were also cultivating. 15 martial artists, the lowest at the 6th level of the spiritual ocean tier, and 5 at the 7th level. The power of blood essence was too strong. It was constantly refined and gushed into the bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. This time the refinement took 3 days. Buzz. Above Lu Ming's head, the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline started to shake crazily. The 9 Asilavira chakra glowed with a dazzling light like 9 Asilavira suns. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin both opened their eyes and looked at Lu Ming. Suddenly their eyes widened and their mouths opened wide. Xian Yanqing's mouth was wide open enough to swallow a large lamb leg. The 9 Esilavira chakras on the prison-suppressing steel were slowly gathering towards the bottom. At first, 2 chakras merged together, then 3 chakras merged together. In the end, the 9 Esilavira chakras merged together. When they did, they emitted a golden light instead of a Esilavira light. At the same time, the size of the prison-suppressing steel also expanded rapidly, becoming more majestic and tall. On it, there was a primitive, ancient, and heavy aura, as if it had come from the ancient times, crossing time and space, giving people a strong pressure. The clouds and mist above it had also become lighter, allowing people to see the lines on the prison-suppressing steel more clearly. A golden chakra was circling the prison-suppressing steel. God. The divine bloodline has been upgraded to the divine bloodline. Kang Jin looked on in a daze, dumbfounded. Xian Yanqing was still fine because she had long known that Lu Ming's blood meridian would level up. Although she was shocked, she did not lose her composure. Finally, I've upgraded to a divine bloodline. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. There was a strange feeling in his heart. He felt that he could turn into a prison-suppressing steel at any time and suppress all his enemies. Thinking of this, he couldn't wait any longer. Suddenly, he felt that he had turned into a light and entered the prison-suppressing steel. At this moment, the aura of the prison-suppressing steel grew. An even more wonderful feeling was born. Lu Ming felt as if he was a prison-suppressing steel. Prison-suppressing heaven art. Lu Ming felt that he could still cast the prison-suppressing heaven technique even if he transformed into the prison-suppressing steel. Moreover, its power was much stronger than his. Buzz. In the next moment, the prison-suppressing steel shrunk and finally turned into Lu Ming's figure on the ground. Lu Ming, your blood meridian can actually be upgraded. Amazing, amazing. Kang Jin's fat body seemed to be weightless. He appeared beside Lu Ming in a flash. His small eyes widened to the maximum. He circled Lu Ming and swept his gaze around. Chapter 799. 799 Meeting Wang Haotian again. Fatty, this is a secret technique that I comprehended from my bloodline. It can devour blood essence and increase the grade of my bloodline. Lu Ming said. Fatty's empty character was naturally unspeakable. For Wan Tingting, he was willing to risk his life and fight against the chaotic family. At the same time, in order not to implicate them, he didn't send them any voice transmissions at the beginning. They could be said to have experienced life and death battles. Lu Ming naturally trusted him. Moreover, if they were to travel together more often in the future, the matter of his blood meridian would naturally not be kept a secret. Therefore, Lu Ming did not hide the fact that his blood meridian had leveled up. Of course, he also didn't mention the bloodline of the 9 dragons, only the secret skill in the bloodline. Bloodline secret skill. Amazing. Amazing. Why don't I have such an amazing secret skill? The fatty pulled a long face and suddenly reached out his hand, fumbling all over Lu Ming's body. Hey fatty, what are you doing? I don't have that kind of fetish. Lu Ming retreated and said. Let me take a look, let me study it. Fatty's small eyes glowed. Lu Ming directly kicked the fatty, causing him to fall flat on his face. Fatty, this is the secret of my bloodline. You can't tell anyone. Lu Ming urged. I know, let me study it. Fatty still didn't give up. Get lost. This time it was not Lu Ming who spoke. It was Xian Yanqing. She glared at the fatty with an unfriendly gaze, a lotus flower dancing in the air between her fingers. Fatty immediately became obedient and muttered, You only care about your own man. You even hit your friends. I'm so miserable. Xian Yanqing's eyes twitched and his face turned red. Lu Ming looked at Xian Yanqing with a smile and said, Your cultivation broke through to the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier. He realized that Xian Yanqing and Fatty had made a breakthrough in the past few days. He had been refining the blood essence with all his might, but he had also sensed something along the way. Yes, that's right. Xian Yanqing nodded. It's useless even if I break through. I can't beat a freak like you. You actually upgraded to a divine bloodline. Once the bloodlines merge, there's no point in fighting. Fatty muttered. Then all of you should also awaken your 3rd bloodline as soon as possible. Let's go, we will return to the 100 venerated mountain now. All of you will go to the 100 venerated tower and obtain the token. After that, we will go to the blood pool together. Lu Ming said. Of course they would not go back like this. Instead they changed their appearances. At their level, it was easy to change their appearance and figure. They only needed to control their muscles and bones. The main thing was the aura. No matter how the appearance of the bone armor changed, the aura would not change. However, this was simple. Lu Ming immediately inscribed an array to conceal their aura on the three of them and concealed all their auras. Since he couldn't change it, he just had to restrain himself. The three of them changed their appearance and body shape, changed their clothes, and flew toward the 100 Venerated Mountain. Half a day later, they returned to the 100 Supremes Mountain and headed straight for the 100 Supremes Pagoda. There were still a few people watching at the bottom of the tower. At this moment, someone was challenging the tower. However, the highest level was only the 6th level. Not long after, everyone failed. When the light on the 6th floor dimmed, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin rushed into the Tower of 100 Talents. There were a few other people with him. Lu Ming was standing there and watching. He wasn't too worried. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin's wills were both very strong and had been comprehended to a very deep level. Moreover, they were both fused together. It shouldn't be a problem for him to pass the Tower of 100 Talents. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, a violent sonic boom came from the sky. A hot aura spread down, and a figure covered in purple flames flew over at high speed. Boom. With a loud boom, a figure landed on the ground. Wave after wave of scorching aura came. Lu Ming looked over. Then his eyes flashed with killing intent. This person was Wang Haotian. Get lost! Wang Haotian shouted and strode forward. The others quickly stepped back and gave Wang Haotian the best spot. However, Lu Ming stood still. You're not retreating? Wang Haotian looked at Lu Ming coldly. Wang Haotian had been very unhappy these days. He brought Wang Kong and Jian Filiu with him, planning to get the token of a higher cultivation sanctuary from Lu Ming. In the end, not only did he not get the token, but Wang Kong died and he was injured. Because of this, he was even reprimanded by the elders in his family. In the past few days, he had healed his injuries and planned to challenge the Tower of 100 Supremes again, hoping to obtain a token. Now, when he told the others to get lost, there were actually still people who didn't retreat. Was he not giving him face? Wang Haotian was furious. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile as he looked at Wang Haotian coldly. His original plan was to go to the blood pool and save Jian Filiu. Then, he would go to other cultivation sanctuaries and cultivate for a while to improve his cultivation. After that, he would find an opportunity to kill Wang Haotian. However, he did not expect Wang Haotian to offer himself. Lu Ming did not mind taking action now. Seeing that Lu Ming dared to look at him like that, Wang Haotian's anger grew. Brat, you're staring at me like that. There's no need for your eyes to exist anymore. Wang Haotian's body emitted a cold killing intent. At this moment, the Tower of 100 Supremes lit up one level after another. Soon, the 5th level lit up and the next moment the 6th level lit up as well. Lu Ming knew that it would not take long for Xian Yanqing and the rest to reach the 9th level. Since that was the case, he might as well get rid of Wang Haotian. Wang Haotian, I said I would kill you. Have you forgotten so quickly? The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled up as he spoke coldly. Wang Haotian's expression changed when he heard Lu Ming's voice. It's you, Lu Ming? The bone armor on Lu Ming's body moved. The next moment he returned to his original appearance. Aha, it's really you, Lu Ming. I didn't expect you to dare to come back and show yourself in front of me. Good. This time I'll see who can save you. Wang Haotian was ecstatic. Never in his wildest dreams did he expect that Lu Ming was still in the 100 Venerated Mountains. He thought that Lu Ming had left long ago and headed to other more advanced cultivation places. Moreover, Lu Ming did not have any companions by his side. This made him even happier. Why are you so happy? You weren't my match that day, so why would I need anyone to save you? Lu Ming sneered. That day you only relied on your formation. Today I won't give you a chance. Kill. With that, Wang Haotian suddenly exploded. A scorching aura filled the air. He had used all his strength. He wanted to use violent attacks to completely suppress Lu Ming so that he would not have the chance to inscribe inscriptions. Why do I need inscriptions to deal with you? Lu Ming sneered and struck with his palm. Boom. The next moment, Wang Haotian's body trembled. The flames on his body flickered. He retreated quickly and almost spat out blood. How could this be? How did your attack become so much stronger? Wang Haotian shouted in disbelief. Chapter 800. 800 Killing Wang Haoyin. He had used all his strength but was pushed back by Lu Ming's palm. Lu Ming's cultivation was clearly only at the second level of the spiritual ocean tier. It was the same as a few days ago. Why did his attack suddenly increase so much? Lu Ming's palm seemed to have the power to suppress everything. It was extremely terrifying. I've said it before, I don't need inscriptions to kill you. Kill. Lu Ming's killing intent burst out. He took a big step forward and his palm was like a divine monument, slashing toward Wang Haoyin. The prison-suppressing heavenly technique would become stronger as the bloodline of the prison-suppressing steel leveled up. The prison-suppressing steel's bloodline had reached the divine level, and the prison-suppressing heavenly technique's power was equivalent to the sixth stage of a demigod-level martial technique. Its power was more than 10 times stronger than before. Although Lu Ming's cultivation level had not changed, his combat strength had increased by a large margin. Wang Haoyin was shocked and furious. He used all his strength to block the attack, but he was still completely suppressed by Lu Ming. He was forced to retreat and cough up blood. Below the tower, the other people were even more dumbfounded. A few days ago, Lu Ming had stopped the 9 geniuses of the 3 aristocratic families almost by himself, shocking the 100 Venerates Mountain. They did not expect that the person who was standing beside them just now was Lu Ming. And now, Lu Ming had exploded with terrifying combat strength. He did not use the Tao of Inscription. He suppressed Wang Haoyin with pure combat strength, leaving Wang Haoyin unable to fight back. How did Lu Ming's combat strength increase so much in just a few days? Bang! Lu Ming struck out with his palm. Wang Haoyin's arm cracked and his bone armor was broken. He spat out blood and was sent flying. He was no match for Lu Ming. Lu Ming, just you wait. Wang Haoyin roared and turned to run. Lu Ming sneered and gave chase. After 1,000 miles, Lu Ming suddenly accelerated and stood in front of Wang Haoyin. There's no one here now, just in time to kill you. Lu Ming's eyes were cold. You want to kill me? Although your combat strength is stronger than mine, you want to kill me? Dream on. Wang Haoyin shouted. Is that so? The sneer at the corner of Lu Ming's mouth became even more intense. The next moment, buzz. The prison-suppressing steel appeared above Lu Ming's head. The dazzling golden light almost blinded Wang Haoyin. His eyes almost popped out of their sockets as he roared in disbelief. Divine bloodline. You've awakened a divine bloodline. His voice was filled with shock, jealousy, hatred, and fear. He was determined to use the token to go to the blood pool, accumulate the power of his bloodline, awaken a divine bloodline, and become a divine-level genius. But now, Lu Ming was the first to succeed in his unfulfilled wish. How could he not be jealous? He was also terrified because he knew how terrifying a divine bloodline was. Run. Without thinking, he turned around and fled. It's too late to escape now. Lu Ming's body turned into a ray of light and entered the prison-suppressing steel's blood meridian. Buzz. The prison-suppressing steel's bloodline trembled. It pierced through the space and pressed down on Wang Haoyin like an ancient mountain. Wang Haoyin had nowhere to run. He was terrified by the terrifying pressure. All his attacks and defenses were useless in front of the prison-suppressing steel. No, my sister will take revenge for me. Wang Haoyin shouted, and then his voice stopped abruptly. Under the suppression of the prison-suppressing steel, Wang Haoyin was torn into pieces and died on the spot. The prison-suppressing steel shrunk and turned back into Lu Ming. He waved his hand and put away Wang Haoyin's storage ring, devouring his blood essence. Then, flames appeared and turned Wang Haoyin's body into ashes. In a flash, Lu Ming left the place and returned to the Tower of 100 Supremes. Of course, he had already changed his form again. At this moment, the 8th floor of the Tower of 100 Supremes had already lit up. The few people at the bottom of the tower did not even notice his return. They just stared at the Tower of 100 Supremes in a daze. They were naturally shocked that someone had made it to the 8th level. The 9th floor has lit up. Someone suddenly exclaimed. It's really the 9th floor. Someone else has made it to the 9th floor. Is it one of the two? A woman and a fatty. The others have all come out. Only the 2 of them are left. Amazing. The others sighed. Lu Ming smiled faintly. In the Wang family, at the head of the dragon's vein, there was a chain of volcanoes that erupted all year round. Because this was the dragon's vein, the temperature of the flames here was frighteningly high, hundreds of times higher than ordinary volcanoes. Suddenly, an angry roar came from one of the volcanoes. The next moment, a firebird made of flames flew out of the volcano and turned into a beautiful woman. However, the woman's body exuded an extremely cold killing intent, and the hot flames seemed to be able to burn through the world. Hao Yin, who killed you? I will make your murderer suffer the most painful torture in the world. The woman spat out a cold and ruthless killing intent. She raised her hand. There was a jade tablet in her palm with the words, Wang Hao Yin written on it. However, the jade tablet had already been torn into pieces. This was Wang Hao Yin's life token. If the life token was broken, it meant that he was dead. There were also other Wang family members cultivating in the volcano range. At this moment, a voice was heard. What happened? Wang Haoxin is going crazy. I don't know. Did something happen to Wang Haoyin? It's no small matter for a god-tier heaven's favorite to go crazy. This is not something we can interfere in. Soon the voice died down. Wang Haoxin's figure disappeared in a flash and soon appeared in Wang Haoyin's courtyard. After a while, Wang Haoxin left Wang Haoyin's courtyard and flew toward the 100 Venerated Mountain. 100 Venerates Mountain, 100 Venerates Pagoda. Lu Ming looked up at the 9th level. Suddenly, all the lights on the 9th floor dimmed and disappeared. Not long after, the Tower of 100 Supremes glowed. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin appeared in the air at the same time and descended. The other people's gazes fell on them in unison. How is it? Lu Ming asked. If I take action, there will naturally be no problem. Kong Jin grinned. Xian Yanqing also nodded. It was obvious that both of them had obtained tokens. All right, let's leave this place immediately. We'll leave the 100 Venerated Mountains, Lu Ming said. From the beginning he didn't know why, but he had a bad feeling in his heart as if a crisis was coming. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin nodded. The three of them turned into 3 rays of light and left the place. They headed towards the exit at top speed. Soon they exited the exit and flew towards the west. Their destination was the blood pool. Not long after they left, Wang Haoxin arrived and rushed into the 100 Venerated Mountain. God-tier prodigy Wang Haoxin. Why is she here? One of the old men guarding the entrance asked in bewilderment. At the foot of the tower, a few young men were still in shock. They were shocked that 2 people had actually made it to the 9th floor. They were guessing if the 2 of them had obtained the token. What was his identity? It was actually so powerful. Boom. Suddenly, a terrifying pressure descended. The cold killing intent mixed with the hot aura and pressed down on their bodies. Their bodies trembled and they knelt on the ground. Wang Haoxin's eyes were cold and his killing intent was as cold as ice as he stepped through the air. Chapter 801. 801 The Blood Pool. God-tier prodigy Wang Haoxin. Someone recognized Wang Haoxin and shouted in fear. The others were even more shocked. The 100 Venoms Mountain was just an ordinary cultivation sanctuary. If god-level prodigies had better places to cultivate, they would not come here at all. Why did Wang Haoxin suddenly come here? They thought of Wang Haoyin. Wang Haoxin was Wang Haoyin's sister. Earlier they saw Lu Ming chasing after Wang Haoyin. After that, Lu Ming changed his appearance and returned to the same place, leaving with 2 other people who had passed the 9th level. Could something have happened to Wang Haoyin? Otherwise, why would Wang Haoxin come with such murderous intent? Lu Ming. Suddenly, they remembered who the other 2 people were. Lu Ming had a few companions. One of them was a beautiful woman while the other was a fatty. They were all people with terrifying talents. Then it was not difficult to guess the 2 people who had passed the 9th level. Tell me, has my brother Wang Haoyin been here before? Who did he have a conflict with? Don't try to lie to me. Wang Haoxin said coldly. The killing intent around him grew stronger and stronger. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. Someone shouted. Previously Wang Haoyin came here and had a big fight with Lu Ming. In the end, Lu Ming chased after him and he fled this place. No one knows where he went. The other person also shouted. Lu Ming? Who is Lu Ming? What did he look like? Tell me the details. Wang Haoxin said coldly. I said that they came here to obtain the token of a higher holy land. He has 2 companions. One is beautiful woman and the other is fatty who carries a battle axe. A young man immediately told him everything he knew. You dare to kill my brother? No one can save you. If you want to go to a high-rank holy land to cultivate, I will kill you on the way. Wang Haoxian's figure disappeared as he spoke coldly. The young men heaved a long sigh of relief. The pressure was too great to be beside Wang Haoxian, as if they could be killed by her at any moment. Lu Ming really killed Wang Haoxian. That's a big deal. No wonder Wang Haoxian went crazy. This is getting interesting. After that, the few young men left. The news that Lu Ming might have killed Wang Haoxian and that Wang Haoxian was after Lu Ming had spread and caused a huge uproar in the 100 venerated mountains. 9 Dragon City's outer ring was surrounded by 9 dragon veins, and in the middle, 3 dragon veins were gathered. They were all very far apart from each other. In these areas there were many wondrous places. There were cultivation sanctuaries, secret realms, and dangerous forbidden areas. The blood pool was located in the vast area between the dragon's vein in the east and the 3 dragons' veins in the middle. The 3 of them flew for a few hours and arrived at a vast mountain. According to the jade talisman given by Long Qianli, the blood pool should be right in front. Lu Ming said. The 3 of them continued to fly forward until a large mountain appeared in front of them. There was a blood-colored aura on the mountain, and on the cliff there were 3 big words, the blood pool. Beside the words, there was a platform protruding from the cliff. Behind the platform was a cave. On the platform there were powerhouses guarding. This was the blood pool. Stop. Only those who are qualified can enter the blood pool. When Lu Ming and the other 2 neared, a burly man took a step forward, exuding a terrifying aura. This was definitely an expert above the spirit embryo realm. Senior, we have a token. Lu Ming, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin flashed their tokens. The middle-aged man looked around and nodded. It is indeed a token. All of you are qualified to enter the blood pool. However, you have to leave your aura here first. Because everyone can only enter the blood pool once. Lu Ming and the rest nodded. Long Qianli's jade talisman had introduced this rule. Some high-level cultivation holy lands had very strict restrictions. Everyone could only enter the blood pool once and leave their aura here. If they came again in the future, they would be able to detect it. The 3 of them left their auras on one of the stone tablets. You guys go in. Remember, do what you can and don't die in there. You only have half a month. You must come out after half a month. The middle-aged man ordered. Many thanks, senior. Lu Ming cupped his fists and the 3 of them stepped into the cave. As for the middle-aged man, he continued to sit cross-legged on the side. The cave was very deep. The 3 of them walked for 1,000 meters and suddenly saw an open space. The inside of the mountain was empty and there was a huge blood pool. This blood pool was at least a few thousand meters long, and it was filled with blood-red liquid. It looked like fresh blood, but there was no smell of blood. At this moment, Lu Ming felt a slight tingling sensation on his spine below the 9 dragons bloodline and the prison-suppressing steel bloodline. What a dense bloodline power! Kong Jin praised. It said that the blood pool has an infinite depth. No one knows where it leads to, but the power of the bloodline comes from the infinite depth. It's really wonderful. Furthermore, although the blood pool contains the power of the bloodline, it also contains an ancient murderous aura and killing intent. It is extremely powerful. The deeper we go, the more powerful it will be. We have to be careful later. Let's go down. Lu Ming said. You be careful too. Xian Yanqing whispered. The fatty nodded and the 3 of them jumped into the blood pool. Kill? Roar. The moment Lu Ming jumped into the blood pool, shocking battle cries rang out from all directions. There were also the roars of ferocious beasts and demonic beasts. Endless killing intent rushed towards Lu Ming. This kind of killing intent could affect one's mind, and if it was stronger, it could even directly cut off one's soul and obliterate one's life force. However, at the same time, the bright red liquid in all directions contained a powerful and majestic bloodline power. This liquid was neither blood nor essence blood. It was formed from the power of the blood. A red light flashed on Lu Ming's spine and formed a vortex. The endless power of the blood meridian around him was absorbed and integrated into his spine. The power of the bloodline could be accumulated in the spine. The stronger it was, the higher the level of the bloodline that would be awakened in the future. Although Lu Ming had the 9 dragons bloodline and could devour blood essence to increase his strength, if the level of his 3rd bloodline was higher, it would save him a lot of trouble in the future. Why not? The bloodline power here was not strong enough. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and he sank. The further down he went, the stronger his bloodline power became. However, the killing intent and baleful qi in the surroundings also became stronger. Where did this bloodline power come from? Where did the depths of the blood pool lead to? There was actually bloodline power constantly surging out. Could it be leading to a battlefield? Lu Ming's imagination ran wild. There were many wondrous places in the world. Some of them could not even be found by martial emperors. Very quickly, Lu Ming had sunk 100 meters. The power of the blood meridian was even more concentrated here. Lu Ming focused his mind on his spine and the suction force suddenly exploded. It was even more terrifying as it continuously absorbed the power of the blood meridian in the surroundings. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.